Now, the reason why I came up with this, now this is something honestly I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit. And it something I guess engaged me with this. Maybe it's my FYP, so to speak. But after the Venus, I'm sure you guys know Venus Williams has gotten married. She got married to a Caucasian male. All right. To be very honest with you, I thought both of them were already married to white men. I already thought that. So I was surprised that she wasn't married. Apparently they were in like a long-term relationship or something like that before. But I thought they was already married. So it wasn't like no big deal to me. But I saw a lot of people, have some comments about that. And then that sparked the interracial relationship. And I've been seeing people talk about how black women and white men work better than black men and white women. And that turned into what I'm starting to see. It's been like every morning since, where it's been a panel. It's been like dating panels online about who is the prize between the man and the woman. You know, what should you, this is thing on TikTok. It's like classism in dating. How a man like you shouldn't date under your class, your economic or social class, and all that. And I'm like, okay, it seems like there's something that, of course, dating is always going to be a topic. Let's be realistic about that. But to me, it's a little bit deeper. To me, it seems like when it comes to black people and black relationships, it seems as if there's always some outside element that stirs the pot. Or maybe it's an insight. I want you guys to give me your opinion. I'm not making a definitive statement. I want to get you guys' opinion because a lot of this is opinion based. But it seems like there's some element when it comes to black relationships that really embellishes whatever issue that we have. Okay. And it exacerbates whatever issue. And now it's this thing where it's like this night and day panel and panel and panel. I don't know if I'm the only one seeing it, but I'm seeing it a lot lately. So I'm like, okay, let's have this conversation. Who is to blame? Is it the man or the woman, or is it some outside force or something?
Can I
Is
say
it
something?
everything?
I need to, because a Haitian chimed in the chat. And when you say black, do you mean black American or you going racially here?
Well, I would say Black American because I mean we are the
Thank you.
pretty much black people here. We're like what 90% of black people here, to be honest.
Yeah, it's giving weird. So I'm going to say outside entities are keeping up the gender divide. I'm not saying Black Americans are without flaws, but for the most part, the people, so this might be anecdotal, right? But for the most part, Black Americans have decided to move forward as one band, one sound. And what I'm noticing is people are coming to the room, they'll give their answer to the prompt, and then there'll be a whole Afro-Caribbean or African and talk about, or Afro-Latina even, our men this and black men that and black men don't and black men won't. And we're just looking at them like, shut the hell up. You ain't even from our lineage.
Mm.
So what they're finding is, I find they're keeping up the gender divide. I'm gonna say it ain't a WAR. They're keeping that up, and they're not holding themselves accountable. And I realized for the first time in a long time how a different way in how black men, black American men, are under attack.
Mm. All right, that's a point. There was a thing on Twitter recently. You can find out where people are tweeting from, like their like central location, like if they're outside the America or whatnot. And what a lot of people have discovered is a lot of these channels or pages that perpetuate like this gender divide drama and all that, they're from outside of America. A lot of these like red pill and pink pill because pink pill is a thing. I had to look it up today. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Pink pill is a thing. I knew it was a thing, but I didn't know what it was called. But it's called pink pill. Look, you can look it up. A lot of those pages and the channels that promote that are outside of America. They're not even in America, but they're speaking on Black American relationships.
I bounce wisdom because if he could say BS from BX as usual, that means he should get the hell out of BX, wherever my energy is. Because
What
obviously,
happened? What happened?
wisdom. He's like, oh, BS from BX as usual. It's the as usual from me. That means you're watching and following me, right? You're inputting yourself into Black American spaces, and you don't need to be on the BX then. See ya. So he's a troll. He's a troll. But Pete Pill came yesterday. A lady was on Tyreek's panel, and Daniel came up there to talk to her, and they were all having the conversation. And Tyreek, what did Daniel talk to her? I think so. But Tyreek was like, "Hold on. You're from Pink Pill, ma'am." And so she is the first one who I heard that term from, but that was on a separate panel. So that's her mission, to go around in FBA spaces, ask what FBA is. Now she's identifying as FBA, but all her talking points are tether women talking points.
Like what?
Black men don't do, well, don't you think if black men stop dating outside the race because they date more, black men don't, that don't protect us, mess, and all this other stuff. But I'm not saying Black Americans aren't without flaw, right? What I'm saying is we understand, we realize, and we're moving on because we've always operated as one unit, right? Since the time of being documented here, we were forced to be in the fields together, right? We were forced to protest together, right? We were just forced to, well, not forced. We did everything together. And it's no different than today. If something happens to one of us, we'll be stomping the yard together again. And they just don't realize how Black Americans operate together. So even in what they call the hood, right? If it's a Black American woman and there's young guys outside and they see a man they haven't seen before, they'll be like, who's that? Who you? Where you from? Like, so they don't really, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep it to Black American men. Black American men.
Which is
do
what we
protect-
should do, because let's be honest
Right.
with you, BX. Like you said, we're Black American. We can only speak to what we know. Anything
Yeah.
outside of that, that's their problem. I mean, I wish them the best, but that's not our issue. With other people have different cultural, like you're saying, other people have different cultural aspects and different cultural histories between men and women. So our relationship dynamic is going to, by definition, be different from their relationship dynamic.
Yeah.
As
They
you were
don't
saying.
understand how we work together since our ancestors' enslavement era. I'm gonna say we've always worked together. Also, our mulattoes always work with us. Our free people always work with us. So when you see a rebellion, there were free people in that rebellion. The mulattoes who decided to, not the ones who passed into full whiteness, but there were mulattoes who would get jobs and pass food to their, their relatives, their immediate relatives. There were mulattoes who stayed in all Negro towns. They didn't use their white T features to just do for self. So we have a better dynamic of most of us working together than we have raccoons and people who passed into whiteness. I'm going to say. Yeah. I'll land there because I know ZZ. I want to hear what ZZ has to say.
Well, I mean, I agree with both of y'all sentiments. For real. I will say I didn't know that the other sister was getting married to a YT man. That's a little disappointing. We lost both of them. The YT man. That's a greatness. Ignorance. But it is what it is. One twin did one thing, the other one, I'm sure, apple don't fall far from the tree. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised. But who's to blame? Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the tethers because they are definitely a part of that blame. For sure, they push a lot of this propaganda from people from like the brick lady. to even some of these red pill passport bros. It's these tethers are definitely in our spaces causing confusion. So that's a problem for sure. Also, the YT supremacist media, YT supremacy in general, to be honest, is a side effect of our relationship problems is a side effect from YT supremacy. But definitely the media, the lack of representation, the egregious representation we have had for our relationships. And yeah, not enough in home, not enough real life relationships. That's a lot of young Black people that don't grow up with a solid example for marriage. So there's a lot of different layers to this topic for sure. We always have to hold black people accountable as well. We got to do for self. We got to look at the people in the mirror. So we are to blame as well. We have to start with ourselves first. The Black woman and the Black man. The Black man should always go first. Shahrazad
Mute
Ali.
the mic when you come up. Go ahead.
I love the elder, Shahrazad Ali. Okay. And she even, when she called out Black women, she even said herself that Black men is the first problem. So, yeah, it's a lot of layers to the issues that we have within our relationships. I think it is definitely heightened. Okay. It's exaggerated. It's hyper focused on the problems that we do have. And it's not a balance to the tranquility, the unity, the euphoria that we have with one another. So there has to be more of a balance there as well, as far as just seeing it and practicing that in real life. Us getting married, which I think I did see that the marriage rate was up, if I'm not mistaken. I think I said our marriage rate was actually up. So, but yeah, it's a lot of layers for sure. To the problems within our relationships.
Okay. Now we have some people on the panel.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to hear their voices, but before we do that, we're going to set the decorum of the room so everybody understands how we get down here, because we have a particular fashion. I want to get to Sage, and then I want to make another point too. I think a very important point. So Sage, do you want to say anything right now, or?
No, go ahead, brother. I will definitely yield to definitely you, and then I'll make my points afterwards about Black relationship drama.
I think that, and I want you guys, there's a lot of people in here. First off, if everybody could do me the solid and tap the screen. But I want you guys to hear me with this. I think that a lot of us, as Zizi was saying, we need to understand that this is a multifaceted issue, that we have a lot of outside problems, and then we do have inside problems. Everything cannot be blamed on outside forces. Okay. There is a level of accountability. I feel like I try to do my best in keeping the balance of accountability and self-improvement without going into victim blaming. Because too often when people talk about how much we need to take accountability, it's really victim blaming disguised as accountability. It's really dismissing outside factors that other people don't have to deal with, and outside elements, and dismissing history and taking situations out of context, and then say, well, you just need to take accountability for that. So I try not to cross that line. However, there is improvement that we need to do internally. And if we don't do the improvement internally, then we're not going to solve this issue. You know what I'm saying? So there's a multi-layer in this situation. It's a balance in this situation. All right. Now, I'm going to be brief when I say that I do think that a lot of this stuff is highlighted, deliberately highlighted and exaggerated. All right. Now, every community has relationship issues, but there's no community that's as focused on and highlighted and paid so much attention to as Black relationships. That's for a reason. Okay. A lot of that is because of us, because we talk about it. And a lot of that is because there's this element of always wanting to make Black relationships seem dysfunctional. All right. You have media all of the time where you have TV shows, drama shows, and all of this and all of that, and the TV drama today is like a Black man and he's doing something, he's cheating, and then the black woman's trying to get a hit on him and all of that's like the Power series and things of the sort. You know, they betraying each other, then they sleeping together, then they backstabbing each other, then one person's got a bomb under the, but you know, I'm just playing, exaggerating. Don't B-O-M-B, don't ignore that word. But I think that the media plays a big factor in this, okay? With like the Love and Hip Hop and things of the sort. I also do think that internally that this is, as far as, I'll say something as far as the relationship with Venus and Serena, and then I'll say something with black men. I feel like a lot of the red pill manosphere stuff like that, I feel like that's misguided a lot of men. It really has. I feel like a lot of young men who've listened to the red pill, the extreme red pill stuff, not that everything they say is wrong, but it's just the extreme of it where it crosses a line, okay? And because it crosses a line, I feel like people are getting more harm than good. I feel like a lot of the men get more harm than good out of the red pill content, and that's kind of infested a lot of young brothers with a toxicity, you know, that's not healthy for them, because the goal is to develop healthy relationships with each other. And I feel like a lot of the people who make the red pill content, that's not their goal. Their goal is it's an ego trip thing that they have in their goal, that a lot of them disguise as leadership, but it's really not that. It's more of a power trip that fills a void of insecurity that they have. There is also that, so I'll say that as far as the red pill side, right? Also, as far as the pink pill side, where I hear people talk about, well, the white man, he's more respectful and all of this stuff and all of that stuff. It's a lot of people who make those contents who have fetishes for the YT man. Let's be honest. There's always been a segment of black women who like that. And it's been something that's been taboo. It's been something that they have not been proud about. So what they have done, like the Cynthia G's and all of that, what they've done is say, well, the only reason we're going to the YT man is because the black man is so evil and the black man is so bad and toxic and all of this toxic masculinity and all of this insecurity, and he's broke and he's all of that stuff. So a lot of them are trying to disguise their attraction to white men as self-preservation of black women. A lot of these, well, I'm not pro-black, I'm pro-black woman. A lot of that stuff, nah, you just like white men. But you don't want to say that, so you're disguising this as this new alternative version of protecting black women. And that needs to be called out, because it doesn't get called out enough, okay? I'm going to be honest. We do have a double standard when it comes to interracial relationships. We do. Okay. Because I've seen people, I'll be all like, there's panels where I'm all like, listening, and I'm seeing when a black man is dating outside his race, whether she's Caucasian or not, when he's dating outside his race, is automatically looked a certain way. However, there's a little bit of a leeway when a black woman does it. Like, well, she's tried to find a good black man, but they didn't respect her, so she went where she was appreciated. There's this leeway that the community tends to give black women for the same action. All right. And I think that all of these factors add up, okay, and compound into what we have.
Can I ask you a question? This is for everybody on the panel. Do you think it's because black women have been told they were undesirable for so long, like especially dark-skinned women? Because black men, they seen as strong, and they are fetishized for their private parts, right? So we know that. But I believe that, so Issa Rae had made a statement. They were saying that black women were found most undesirable, and so were Asian men. And she was like, well, then black women and Asian men should just date. And that's like, huh? But then, the tide shifted, and dark skin became celebrated. So do you think that black women may get a pass because of that trope that they were undesirable?
Um, that's a good point. That's a good point. I feel like
And
that is the
even
justification. However, when the argument, and I said this on YouTube, the argument that black women are generally less desirable, the least desirable women, comes from a study from a dating app. And based off of the dating app, they said that black women were the least like selected or liked on, had swiped, whatever, it's like Tinder or something like that, where you swipe right or left, depending on who you like. And it showed that black women were the least swiped, right? Now, when it comes to dating apps, you have dating apps from different age ranges, different states, and all of that stuff. So it's a lot of variables that aren't calculated in that. So I feel like just the statistic that black women are least desirable, I feel like because the data source is flawed, I feel like that's a flawed statistic. Okay. I don't think that way. I don't think now, of course, as a black man, I probably would have a bias, but I don't generally believe that black women are the least desirable of all women. Okay. I don't think society thinks that. I think that is a narrative that's gone on. And unfortunately, to your point, I do feel like there has been a number of black women who do believe that. Okay. And if you want to add into it, I do feel like colorism does play a factor in that. Okay. I feel like because dark skin is if we're talking about black women, this dark skin has been so demonized for so long, and it's been so stigmatized for so long. I feel like that is a thing that adds on to the feeling of value. What's the word I'm looking for? Though it's slipping my mind right now, but I do feel like that is a factor. Okay, and that causes them to be more susceptible to the anti-black propaganda. All right, so I do agree on that point. However, I don't think that dating out would be any better, because let's be honest with you, these men from these other communities, they don't even like the dark-skinned women in their community. Truth be told, the only people who've historically ever shown any type of affection or love or attraction to dark skin has been black men. White men have never done that. Not unless it's in some fetishized way, where now this is like some slave play or something like that, where you got to dress up as a mammy or something like that, like this dirty thing, this inappropriate fetish that they have. So yeah, I do feel like that is a factor in it, but I think that's something that we should consider and talk about, because there's a lot of people who still believe that.
Afro Elite, hi BMX, and to everyone else. I'm FBA, I guess Aboriginal. I just want to speak to that point. I'm a baby boomer. I grew up in the suburbs, and I might have been the only one in there. And for my experience, they would pass me over for a darker skinned black woman because they look at me and they don't feel like I'm really authentic, right? So in California, you see a lot of white tea men with dark skinned women. They like the froze, they like the locks. They like that, especially in Northern California. They like that whole vibe. And yes, we do still have brothers that disparage black women that date out, because I was on one panel, I had to get off because they were calling the black women bed wenches, but yet they had white tea women. Make it make sense, right? But we still have to understand that most of the marriages in America are still between black women and black men. Now, my mother always said, we would have a problem when we start to believe other people's hype. When we start to believe, like you alluded to, what's being force fed us, right? That we are the least desirable. Well, honey, if I'm the least desirable, why are you copying everything that I am? From my hair down to the way I move, to my lips, to my authentic behind and hips. Can I get an amen? Yes.
Amen.
You go pay thousands of dollars for what was my birthright. So we can't believe that they don't want us to know that we are Eve. They don't want us to know that we are the prototype. We
Yeah.
are the prototype of everything. And what gets me is the brothers that, if you're going to get a Becky, get a real Becky. Why are you getting a Becky that acts like me? And really, she's far more, I don't want to say ghetto, but you know what I'm saying. Her affectations, she's not speaking proper English. She's got all this stuff and child and girl. Please get a real white girl. Excuse me, a real white T girl if you're going to get that. Because if I'm going to get a white T boy, I want Kevin Costner. I don't want no Italian stallion. I want a real Brad, right? So to me, it's almost like there's double speak. And when they did a survey, and I'm gonna land my plane of couples, interracial couples that last the longest, it's between the white T man and the black woman. They have a 44% chance of not getting divorced. But if you pull up all the other statistics, the black man and the white T woman are leading. So in other words, they're getting the same black man. And I land my plane.
All right. All right. I appreciate that. That's pretty. I appreciate that. Sage, you got it,
Appreciate
brother.
you,
Sage
sweetie.
is walking around flexing his house right now. He flexing his crib right now.
I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. I mean, Barrister was saying that, FBA dudes is broke, so I'm trying to figure this out. But, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we lazy, though. You know how that go. But let's not talk about that right now. Shout out to the family, though. We'll talk about that later. As far as the relationship situation, there was like a space a brother threw on Twitter. I don't really jump into just anybody's spaces, but for this space I actually participated in. I forgot the brother's name. I'm sorry. Hopefully he's in here. But he had a space about Black relationships and interracial couples and all that. And I do have somewhat of an unpopular opinion when it comes to this. And I'm gonna give my reasons why. I don't really like to get into the relationships of people. I feel like if you choose to date someone who is of a different race, that's your prerogative. Have I done that? No. But if you choose to do that, that's fine. Here's the problem. When you get into that relationship, and I'm talking specifically to Black people now, don't S word on your race. You know what I mean? Like, don't get in there and be like, hey, this other race is better than my race, because that's when you cross over and you become the animal. What do you want? Not this. But when that black and white animal, that's when you become that. And that I don't like. I don't like when you start S-wording on your own ethnic group or your own race because you're dating outside of it. And that's when it becomes problematic for me. Now, if you're in a situation like, for example, a Johnny Cochran, because I hope we're all aware that, don't do that. I hope we're all aware that Johnny Cochran did date a white woman, and he does have half black, half white children. He definitely does. But Johnny was always on code. You understand? Like Johnny never did anything to go against our ethnic group. He never did. He never fell off code. Frederick Douglass is another one. Maya Angelou is another one. And the reason why I'm naming all of them, because these people have dated, even Tupac, these people have dated white people, but they never really fell off code. They never really S-worded on their own people. So that I can respect. But again, when it comes to your sexual relationship, especially the men, listen, I ain't getting in bed with you, so I ain't gonna tell you who to get in bed with. But the only thing I would ask is for you to not S-word on the women that come from your specific ethnic group. That's definitely what I would ask. Now, there's this girl that I know. I'm not gonna blow her up because she's probably in here. We're friends. We're cool. At one point, we were talking as friends, and it didn't work out because I sensed like a real genuine hate for specifically Black men.
Okay. I thought I knew who you were talking about, and I don't now.
I'll tell you after. I'll tell you after. So my issue with her is that she procreated with a white T man. And so why all this hate for a person of your ethnic group when you procreated with another person that's not from your ethnic group, but you're now a single mom? But that has nothing to do with people of your ilk. That has everything to do with the people on the other side. And this is my issue with her. And I just sensed a lot of like self-hate, not really self-hate, but it's because she bigs up and she loves, black women. But when it comes to the men, you have really nothing good to say about us. And yeah, that won't work because I can't sleep next to a person like that and and trust her to a certain degree. So if you are listening, that's why you stop getting texts and calls from me. But yeah, so yeah, that with her, that was the situation there. But as far as when it comes to relationships, we need to compromise more. We need to work out, work together. I fully believe in an intact nuclear family, nuclear relationship. I believe that there should be a mother, a father, a kid or two, however much you want to have in the household, because I believe in tackling the world as a team and not necessarily tackling the world by yourself. So that's my stance on that. I do believe that you need a partner, but you also need a strong partner. Malcolm would not have been Malcolm without Betty and Martin. I don't believe Martin would have been Martin. Sorry, without Coretta. Just had to make sure I had that correctly. And with that, I'm going to land.
All right.
Malcolm and Coretta.
No, he
No, I
said
said Martin with Coretta.
Martin.
Oh, I'm about to say, what the hell?
Yeah.
Zizi about to kill me, bro.
My bad. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, and a lot of that is when people date out and then they make their whole relationship based off of being interracial. I've seen that be all like, pages and channels be all like, we're the interracial couple.
Mhm.
And it's this hyper focus on,
That's showcasing. That's showcasing.
it's the showcasing
corny
and this
right there.
hyper focus. So the relationship you have with this non-black person is not even really a genuine, healthy relationship. Your relationship with this non-black person is like a protest to the black community, really.
Mm.
But that's my take on that. I'm gonna let other people go ahead. Let's get to Don. You got it. Wait, was Don next, or was it Amar? I think it was
so.
Don.
I think so, Afro Elite. Hey, greetings, man. Good to talk to you again, man, and the people in your panel. I was just laying back, kind of listening. And as far as addressing the issue there, black relationship drama, I think a lot of it comes down, if you're talking about racial, then the racial impact or the effect on it, it is a problem if you don't have a good understanding of who you are and who you're dealing with. Because if you once you figure that out, then you can kind of develop the relationship. Because like the brother was just saying, you might be in a relationship. She loves you, but she don't like your ethnic group, and a relationship like that won't work. It won't last because of the biases that they come in the relationship with, But when it comes down to I think a lot of the problems comes down to class, status, and money. Those are two of the biggest issues, and that's across all races. Usually, even if you're YT or you're Jamaican or whatever you are, if you don't have a class status that matches up, and you don't have the financial security that both of you can live with, then you're gonna have some, there's gonna be some drama. Because mama want to be treated a certain way, and if you can't afford that, she gonna let you know. And then if you can't live up to that, then she gonna tell you. I know, that's how sisters are, and that's how a lot of women are, in their relationships. If a man can't live up to her standards, and if she can't, and vice versa, if a woman can't live up to the man's standard, he's gonna tell her. And then she's going to get angry, and then there's going to be a lot of drama, So it kind of boils down to different factors that can cause a relationship to not work out. When we talk about the YT thing and Black Americans, I think a lot of the relationships they can work, like the brother said. Everybody's they got a free choice to choose who they want to love. But if those factors I mentioned just a minute ago are involved and they don't match up, and the relationship's just going to fall apart, you know. People are they're gonna have their issues. And in my case, I'm in a mixed relationship, not YT but Asian, and I still feel some tension there between the ethnicity, my ethnicity, and hers. You know what I mean? I there's still some tension there, but my love for her is strong enough to overcome that, and I can work through those situations, and that's what it takes.
How
You
long
know,
have you been in? How long have you been in a relationship with her?
oh man, decades, decades, brother.
Really?
But what I was going to say, yeah, what I was going to say is though, you know, ideally a 50-50 relationship would be the ideal, but it rarely is that way. You know, like I don't know if that was Curtis Mayfield or Teddy Pendergrass was saying that song about they want a 50-50 relationship or they want a 60-80.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Yeah, that was Teddy, brother. That's right. And rest in peace, brother. You know, people want a 50-50, but rarely are you going to get that, you know, because either the woman or the man are going to have a little, it might be what, 60-40 or 70-30. And if you can work through those problems and those issues that brings about, then, you know, the relationship will work. I love black sisters, even though I'm not married to one. My mama was black. My sisters are black, and I'm black. So you know.
Question, brother. Do you guys have children?
No, we don't, man. We don't.
If you don't mind me asking, brother, how old are you?
I'm in my 50s.
And how long have you been married to her?
Decades. I'll leave it at that.
20
It could
years?
be 10.
More? 20 years?
Say that again?
20 years plus?
Yeah, 20 years plus.
Okay. And no children.
So,
Did you have children? Do you have any children or no?
yes, I do. And the mother was black. She she's mixed with because most of us are mixed a little bit with who live in America and in many other countries. We're mixed, you know, because of our relationship or our proximity around the other races. If you're around,
Okay, but we got
go
other
ahead.
people who haven't spoken yet, so we got to be
Okay,
fair to
yeah,
everybody.
that's why
But
I had
I
landed
do.
here. Please ask me some questions
Where
after
you
that.
said she's Asian? What exactly is she?
Thai, she's Thai.
She's Thai. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and she's. You met her in America?
Yes, sir. Yes, I
I
did.
just wanted to see if you were one of those passport bros who got sprung. You know what I'm saying? He went overseas on a vacation.
No,
He came back with a wife. I just wanted to make sure.
No,
I
I've been
know.
over there. I've been over there to see her family and everything. I've been over there a couple of times.
Oh,
And
okay. All right.
yeah, I've been over there a couple of times. It's a long flight, man. It's like a 16-hour flight to get over there. I don't think I'm going back. I don't think I'm going back, man. It's too long. But and I met her family, and I tried
Okay,
to.
but hold on for a second. Zizi, did you want to say something?
Yeah, you know, I wish I was on camera because my face the whole time this brother been speaking. They greatest. I already knew he was a bunny hopper, but I didn't know he was a chopstick bunny hopper. But I knew he was a bunny hopper.
I think they call them rice bunnies or something like
Are
that.
they rice bunnies?
Yeah, that's the thing. They call them rice bunnies.
That's a new
Yeah, I
one.
had a feeling once I heard him say that's how black women are. But you know, that's how I said, oh, this nigga bunny hopping. I already knew it. Anyways,
No,
look,
I
we
still
talking
love.
about
I
black
still love you.
relationships,
I
brother.
still
Hold
love
up,
you.
hold up. I ain't gonna even do too much. I'm just saying, if we talking about black relationships, those who are dating out, why y'all over here? I mean, I know Afro, we like to have an open conversation. I'm with it. But I'm just saying, why the fuck y'all over here if you got an Asian in your crib? You not worried about black relationships no more. You just said you ain't going back. That's done. That's all. We were with this rice bunny for 20 years. Brother, why the fuck do you give a damn about what we talking about black relationships? It's over. Unless you plan on leaving that damn snow bunny and getting a black woman.
Rice bunny. It's a rice bunny.
My bad, rice bunny. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. All these damn bunnies is the greatest. Look, if you
I
don't
must
plan on
have
coming
missed
back
it.
over here, then why are you over here talking about black relationships,
I
sir?
didn't say
It's
I
no
want to
I,
more of
ask
I
you
your
a
didn't.
question.
concern.
Go
I
ahead,
didn't.
answer her question. Answer that.
I didn't say I didn't ZZ. Like I said, there's still tension there. So if I decide to, I know where to go. I know
Let
where
me
to
ask
go.
you a
You know.
question though. Let me ask you a
Yeah. Go
question
ahead. Go ahead.
because you said like if there's things that if a man economics is a reason, right?
Yeah,
And
it
if a
is.
man can't please the woman economically, she's going to be upset, vice versa, all of that. So that's
Yes,
what you
I do.
said, right? And you said that
Yes,
there's
sir.
tensions. Do you feel like there was any more expectation from black women than your Asian wife?
Uh, I don't know. It's hard to answer that question, but I don't think so. I
So
don't
you
think
feel
so.
like the expectations are the same?
No, I didn't say they were the same, but I don't think it was more one
Okay.
way
Do
or
you
the
think
other.
that the expectations are e- around like equivalent expectations?
Well,
Do you
I
think?
would.
Let me ask
I
you.
would.
Let me
Yeah. Go
simplify
ahead.
this because I'm going to make a point. Let me say, and that's why I kept you up here because I wanted to ask you this. I want to make a point. Do
Go
you
ahead.
feel like your relationship you had with your black woman? Do you feel like the expectations or the demands that she had for the relationship were higher than the demands that your current wife has for the relationship?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay, and the point I'm making is when a lot of men date out, when the black men, when they date out and everything like that, the justification for that is that black women have extremely high expectations and these other women don't.
I'm
These
aware of
other
that.
women are, hold on. These
Okay.
other women are way more down to earth. They're way more logical. They're way more sensible and they're way more caring and giving and things of the sort. But black women have extremely high expectations. They're very entitled. They're very this, they're very that. And you just said that you were in a relationship for over 20 years and you
Yes,
don't
sir.
feel as if your current wife, who's Thai, who's Asian, who's from Taino, you don't feel like her expectations are any higher than a black American woman's expectations, right? So the narrative that the reason or the justification for dating out is because these other women have more sensible expectations is really a farce.
Yeah, I don't think that narrative doesn't fit, for, as far as I'm concerned, that black women's expectations are so high that I couldn't live up to them. So I decided I was going to go to another ethnic group and try to
All right.
find
I
it
just
there.
wanted to dispel that from somebody who actually is in an interracial relationship, who can actually
Yeah.
dispel that. But we're gonna move on.
Okay. Great. Thanks, bro.
All right. You have a good
Chosen
one.
Alchemist, you should come up and speak. Chosen Alchemist D, you should
Yeah,
come up and
let me
speak.
bring that her up. All right.
Since you're going to speak about Afro, you should definitely come up and speak. Speak your piece.
Who said something about me?
Chosen Alchemist D.
Host is come come on. Don't do that. Let's get to striving.
What's up,
I
bro?
like to speak in person. Well, I don't know you, dude. Come up on the panel. You got something to say in the chat room. Then when you want to, then when I invite you on the panel, talk about I like to speak in person. Then shut up in the chat room, man.
There you go.
All right, striving. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I actually wanted to comment on a few things. One of the things that you said that I wanted to comment on was the double standard, and it is a double standard, and that's the and this double this that's one of the reasons why when I hear this narrative of you are what your mother is or something like that. The reason why that shit triggered me so much is because when I observe black women in these little bedwinch cults and all that, that's the type of shit that they constantly repeat. And they do this shit because black men and women marry each other to, you know what I'm saying, uh are most likely to marry each other. So I feel like they kind of use that talking point to try to ease to try to make black women feel better about the shit. Like, oh, like, girl, you still going to have a black baby, or something like that, using that talking point. And also to what the brother was saying about it being cool to date outside your race, and I mean your group and all that. I'm also one of them people who don't believe in policing what other people's choices, whoever, you know what I'm saying, people date whoever they want to date. The problem is that I have a problem with people who choose to police how we respond to those people who choose to date outside their group. When we have we have black people who are concerned, who are serious, who are trying to preserve our identity, our culture, and all that. And we shouldn't have to face any kind of criticism if we choose to excommunicate or kind of push people off to the side who want to date outside our group or race or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Also, Tupac never dated outside of his race. And Johnny Cochran dated outside of his race, but he was in his early 50s and he started talking about reparations, and we don't know, the little white shorty probably slipped a little something in his drink, and then he had, you don't know how people going to respond in these interracial relationships just because they got a black peen in their mouth or something like that. That don't mean that doesn't mean they down with the cause or they cool. You know what I'm saying? So, and and given that reality, people who choose to brush people off to the side who date outside their group, that's also like a safety mechanism, because we don't know what you going back telling your significant other. We could be having discussions, and you could be going back telling your significant other who's non-black sensitive information, and that person could go back and then spread it amongst her people or whoever. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was something else that I wanted to say, but I'm gonna land right there.
Okay, just for clarity, Tupac dated Madonna. Madonna's not black.
That's a rumor that
There's an actual letter that Tupac wrote to her breaking up with her. So I don't.
I know about that letter, but people can't confirm the veracity. You know what I'm saying? Of that letter though.
Okay. It was just auctioned off for hundreds of thousands of dollars, but okay, no problem.
A question, because I argue, right, and I really dislike these type of conversations, but hey, I'm going to join today, right? I find that white tea women, right, used to come in black people's spaces, and here I got to go racially because we weren't doing lineage checks and lineage over race, right? And they'd be like, your man told us that you are this and you are that, and that's why he can date you, right? And so we used to drag him, right? And that's how I learned to start reading statistics before giving a proper response. And I realized that black men still marry black women at a higher rate than he would a white tea woman or a Hispanic, and that it's basically the media that hypes them up. You don't really see the traditional black family in many commercials anymore. So I have a question, and I guess this is for the men. Do white tea men come in y'all spaces and say, well, that's why we date your women, because your woman said that y'all do X, Y, Z to them?
Never.
Does that happen to you guys?
Never.
Not at all. No,
Never.
no.
Now, I
They've
can't
never,
say,
they've
I'm
never
going to admit
attempted
this.
to
Well, real
flex.
fast, I'm going to admit this. Eve's husband said black women are for billionaires, right? He did say something like that. Now, maybe y'all could take that a certain way. I don't know how to take that. I ain't dating a white tea billionaire. I don't know what they like, right? But somebody did comment in the comment section that white tea men have a certain aesthetic that they like from the black women that they date. So I just kind of wanted to know, because the younger generation, when I say younger, I mean like 30-year-olds will tell me, and some of y'all are 30, damn, I'm 50, y'all. Some of the 30-year-olds will tell me, yeah, white tea men do it to us too. But I just don't see it in the rate that I used to see white tea women. But we started dragging their tails, so they don't do that too much. Now it's the Latinas telling us that, and some of the West Indian people. Yeah.
To be honest with you, BX, I actually agree with what Eve's husband said because when I look at dating, and I'm not talking about sexual access, I'm talking about specifically dating, you have to take into consideration that children can come out of that and what you're going to pass your legacy on to. So when you're talking about dating someone and making them, your other half or your better half, I want to say, you have to pass a legacy on. So whoever you're going to pass your legacy on to is very important. That person, when I say your legacy, I'm talking about children. Those children are going to carry your name. They're going to, kind of be an image of you when you're gone. So again, there's a difference between, again, sexual access and dating someone. But again, it's a very important and very, I would say that you should take it to a certain degree of importance when you're talking about dating someone and sleeping with them and marrying them, because marrying is a commitment. That's all a marriage is. It's a commitment from one person to another person.
And Eve doesn't have any kids with her husband, right?
Oh, no.
Let's hold on. Let's before we go, because I want to reset the room a little bit by asking a certain question. But before we do that, I would like to allow everybody to go ahead and get a chance to speak on the prompt real quick. So we're gonna get to Amar.
Yeah, hello guys. Hey, I love you guys. I just want to tell you that. And I am like BX. I try and stay away from this conversation or going back and forth between our men and our women because I love us so much. But as a dark-skinned woman, I'm going to speak from my own experience. So I'm not speaking for other dark-skinned women, and I'm not speaking for our race or our demographic. This is my lived experience. So I am a person who generally have been with men outside of our demographic. And it's not that I prefer them. It's just that those are the men who were available at the time. So it's not a preference. I absolutely adore us as people. I love our men. But it's wherever I was, our men just weren't available. But here's the thing. I never, ever.
Can I ask you a question? You're from California?
I live upstate New York right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you were here before, so I thought I remembered you being from California. But go ahead.
No, not the West Coast. I was born in New York. I grew up in Europe and then came back, and I'm living in New York right now.
Okay.
Amor, somebody's asking your ethnic group.
Yeah, in the chat room, you sound like you were from Cali. I don't know. I guess I got okay. But yeah, your ethnic
American.
group.
Yeah, I'm a
You're
South American, and I consider myself American Indian. And I don't see much difference between us FBAs, except that we identify differently, but our lived experiences are pretty much the same. So that's how I see it. So that's why I'm always here. And I'm always supportive of this group because to me, you are my people. There's nobody else. So going back to my lived experience. So with my lived experience, I never, ever say anything bad about us as a race, not the men, not the women. But I did grow up hearing, being a dark-skinned woman, there's a lot of colorism. We have to be honest. There's a lot of colorism within our demographic. And some people, when I grew up, really didn't like dark-skinned women. So for me, that's not a problem because I love myself. So I just go where I was celebrated and that's it. But do I hate our men? I absolutely do not. I defend them. I support them as much as I can. But I feel like it's unfair to say if me being a dark-skinned woman because I have been with other people, and they're usually not white men. YT men. I do not like YT men. But out of our race, definitely whoever's available and who treats me good. I do have high standards, and I do like to be treated a certain way.
All right. I mean, And I feel like when it comes to people with standards, I don't blame anybody, a man or a woman, for having high standards. My thing is that if your standards are high, you got to meet that. That's my thing. Okay, that's like it's like a job. Okay, you asking for high pay, you need to be that valuable. So of course you got to have high standards, and you should, but you also have to meet that. Water reaches its own level. Let me ask you this question though: have you ever dated a brother at all?
I don't know if I can't say seriously, no. Um,
You've never like talked to a black man, been in like.
have talked to, but you're asking dating, like on a serious level. And for me, that answer would be no. The
Really?
only opportunity that I can think of was in college. And I'm dark skinned. I love dark skinned men, but they prefer lighter skinned women. So there wasn't that opportunity for me. So
Have you
then
ever have you ever broken up with a black man before?
well, I wasn't dating him, so I couldn't break up with him.
Have you ever cut it off with a black guy? Have you ever done that?
That I guess the answer would be no if I was never in a serious relationship.
No, you
with
don't.
him.
Okay, if you're in the talking stage, you can cut it off in the talking stage. Be like, hey, I'm not interested or whatever. You don't have to cut it off when you're dating. I didn't say break up. But I'm asking, has there ever been a black man at all who's shown you serious interest that you were not interested in?
Not outside of high school, no.
Really? Okay.
Amor, can I ask you a question? What part of New York are you from?
I'm living in upstate. I'm not from here. I'm living upstate right now.
You said you were born in New York. What part of New York?
Upstate.
Upstate. Got it. Okay, so you're not from the city part. Got it.
Can I
No,
ask you? So
I'm not from
has
the
there
city.
ever
No.
has there ever been? Because, and I'm glad you brought colorism up because that's a factor in this. Has there ever been a man, even if he didn't meet your standards, who's been interested in you that you had to kind of curve that you weren't interested in?
Not in our demographic, no. I literally think it's a matter of access. Wherever I was, our demographic was just not available at the time.
So it's just no black men around.
That's what I'm getting.
I'm like, how the fuck? How?
I'm really trying to get
You
you,
at?
like, there's not
Upstate
been a
New York.
single black man in your life
I don't
that you
think
like
she's
that has
putting her
ever,
making
not
herself
even that you,
available.
hold on, Portiz, not even that you've liked. There's not been a single black man since high school
Right.
that's
Yeah.
ever tried to take you serious.
Okay, so what I said is in college, I was attracted to
No,
dark.
I know what you, I know, but I'm asking you because you're saying that because a lot of black men don't like dark skinned women. All right. You had to go where you were celebrated. That's what you said. So I'm asking, there's been no black men at all, light skin, dark skin, whatever. There's been no black men who looked at you and who wanted to court you and wanted to engage in a serious relationship with you. None. And the reason why I'm asking this is because we hear this narrative that, well, black men don't like me as a justification to date out the community. So I'm asking you, is
Right.
that just your preference? Is that just something that you wound up doing? Which, if it is, you can just say that. But the narrative that black men specifically, your entire adult life, have never taken you serious because you were dark skinned. I'm like, I don't see that.
I do not have a preference for other men. They just treated me well. I mean, buying me a car, one was building me a house. I just didn't have access. I prefer. You don't understand.
No,
This
he
is
built you a house.
Damn.
Like, I ain't look.
But y'all,
I
hey,
can't be mad if
like
if the
more,
dude building her
y'all.
houses now. I mean,
I got a question. Are you
okay.
married now, Amor? Are you married? Because I'm picking up something else, but I could be wrong. Are you married now, Amor? Dating?
Well, no. Right now, I just keep men out of my life because I'm staying focused. But tell me, DX.
Bingo. So,
Tell me,
so I
tell
hope
me.
you don't mind me getting kind of personal, but are you
Go ahead.
celibate,
I want
or they
you
say
to.
abstinent?
Well, yeah,
Are
right
you
now.
practicing celibacy? Because that I got to tell y'all, to me it sounds like she might be practicing a life of abstinence and not dating. So when she says I prefer black men, but so I missed some things I got to say. But you got to understand, some black women go celibate on relationships. We don't want a relationship. We want to focus on self. So I didn't mean to get personal with her, but if she's shy, she may not say it. I've been celibate for a while now. Right.
Well,
So, I mean,
practicing that right now. That's where I am right now. So right now, I'm not even looking. I have no concern. I'm focused right
How old
now.
are you?
I don't want to say my age, but all I want to say is
Are you over 35?
yes, yes.
Yeah. The Kevin Samuels antennas is ringing right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah, I'm going
It's
on
given she
mute
might
and
be
more.
crazy. You might have some
I
issues with being
understand
brown.
celibacy,
I'm
y'all.
not gonna lie
I
to
don't
you.
know. Y'all
You ain't
young, so
dated no
y'all may
black
not
men.
understand it.
And BX, I understand
Disappear, but
celibacy
not
too,
Can I
but this
ask a
woman,
question?
I think she got some
I
issues.
just
I ain't
hold
gonna lie
on.
to
I
you.
Oh
just
my
think
God, did
that
I
it's
recognize my age? I'm sorry, Zizi. But when I was on Facebook, women in my age at that time, maybe late 30s, going into 40s, it was normal to hear us say that we were celibate. And then here come men. I don't know if they were black or not. You're old hoes. Y'all just old and tired, But that's neither here nor there. But some black women, and men don't believe this, right, can be celibate for years at a time without dating. We
Yeah,
can't.
but
Don't
how
roll
you
your eyes
celibate
at
and
me,
you
Mr.
ain't been with no
Afro
damn
Lee.
body? How you celibate and you ain't been with nobody? What the fuck is going on? It's supposed to
Oh,
be a break if you've been
I missed
breaking.
some intricate parts of the
More.
my
conversation.
Do
thing
Do you
because
have a problem identifying as black?
Salute you, Diddy.
I want to say this though, because I feel like the narrative, whether it's your preference or not, whether it is what you want to do or not, okay, that's fine. And nobody's here to. We're not the relationship police. Okay, we're not. Okay, you're a grown woman, and you get to do whatever you decide to do, right? Whether you're with somebody, whether you're not. Okay, you get to. What are we doing here? Don't do that now. You get to do whatever you want to do. I feel like the narrative though, that you had to go outside of the community because black men don't like dark skinned women, which has been a stereotype and a jacket that black men have been forced to wear for the longest time now. That, black women or dark skinned black women can't find love in the community, and black men don't like dark skinned black women. And then when we go through it, it's like, no, maybe it's the type of men that you are interested in might not have been interested in you too, because you did say you had a preference for dark skinned men, which is why I said, has any men of any skin tone tried to approach you? You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Because
I
it'll
mean,
be a thing of, I like men who are 6 feet tall, who are dark, who got big beards and everything. And if those men aren't approaching me, then black men don't approach me. No, maybe your type. I'm saying, because maybe your type, for whatever reason, it might not gravitate to you, but that does not mean that black men in general don't like dark skinned women. You know what I'm
no, no,
saying?
no, but I'm not using that blanket. I said that this is my lived experience. I'm not saying that I went outside my race because black men don't like me.
Okay.
I just said that I didn't have the opportunity. Of course, other men, there's lots of other men outside of us who are interested in me, but that doesn't mean that I'm interested in them. And the few men I have chosen, I have been treated well. I've been treated very well. But this isn't about those other men. This is about our demographic. So I was trying to stay within our demographic.
Okay. All right.
I wanted to
Well,
ask her a question, Afro. If
real quick, and then we'll move on.
okay, because you date interracially, but you also identify as indigenous. So I'm kind of curious if you have a problem identifying as black.
I did. So this is the difference between, I think, those of us who see ourselves as indigenous and those who label themselves as black, right? It literally is a legal term. I think you don't even understand what the legality is.
Okay. Well, yeah. Do you see yourself as black? Like if we
No,
said we're all black, you would say yeah.
I see myself as foundational.
All right, okay. Let's move on. Let's get to I don't know how to pronounce this name. Atongda?
Yeah, Tonga,
Atongda. Where are you from?
Africa.
Are you living in Africa right now?
No, I live in America for 21 years, and my man is Black American.
What part of Africa, if you remember?
South Sudan.
Got it.
Okay.
So, because I read here it says Black relationship, so I was just thinking, is
Uh,
it like in general Black, or it's a specific Black group of people?
well, we're talking about Black Americans, but now that you're up here, since you're up here, right? You're in a relationship with a Black American man. How long have you been married to him?
We're not married.
How long have you been in a relationship with him?
9 months.
Okay. He's good to you, right?
Yeah, he is.
That's good. You have no problems. Let me ask you this. Do you feel as if your relationship with a Black American man is still would be different from a man of your culture?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I was coming. Well, the reason I came up because I was gonna answer why I think, because I lived here for 21 years. So of course, automatically, I also adapt the closest culture or the closest relatable things to me here. It's gonna be Black American, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
There's going to be more Black American than your own culture.
no, I said in America because I lived here for 21 years. So I also listen to hip hop, right? Rap, blah blah blah. Because I lived here for all these years.
Wait.
I
I
But
gotta
still
you
stop
have
you. I gotta
but
stop
I
you.
can hear your accent, so I know you weren't
Right.
raised here.
right.
Right.
So I'm not Black American. I'm
Yeah, but
African.
Wait. Hold on. I need everybody to understand this. Hip hop doesn't mean that you could relate to us. You probably don't even know why hip hop was created. And I really dislike when y'all diminish blah blah blah. Like
You
you just
didn't
said,
hear what I said. I did
blah
not
blah
say I'm
blah.
Black American again.
No, you said, and I could relate hip hop and blah blah blah. So our blackness here in America, right? Is hip hop is a product of it, but that's not our total essence, right? So just because you're in proximity where you can hear what's primarily on our radio waves, do not mean you can relate to us. That's what I'm saying. Period. That's all. And I want people to understand proximity does not mean same, similar, or that you can relate to us. Because obviously, we wouldn't have had to boycott the African hair braiding shops or even the Caribbean if y'all could relate to us. Because we're all in proximity, right? That's all.
So
And my youngest son doesn't
but
even listen to hip hop. He only listens
okay.
to 2 songs. So that is not the epitome of blackness, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am, I got it. So
Thank you.
I'm not here for the hate because, like I said, I'm not here for all of that.
So facts is hate.
okay, we're not hating. Nobody hating. Nobody hating.
And
But
watch the H word, man.
okay, I just got one question.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, y'all. This candy is delicious.
What the hell is he over there eating?
I like M&M peanuts. What you eating?
So
But
PX,
I
I
want to
just
ask.
want
Hold on. You chose to be with a Black American man, right?
Mm-hmm.
What made you? How does your family feel about that? Do they know?
I'm grown. Yeah, they're fine with it.
Is this
They're
the
fine.
first
He's
Black American you
They don't
dated?
say anything about it.
he's actually a good guy. So, and I came up here because I compare. The reason I was gonna answer the prompt, because I actually compare both. Because since I lived here for 21 years, so I was just gonna say my opinion. Again, it's my opinion because we always can agree to disagree, right? So I don't have to agree with someone else's opinion. They don't have to agree with my opinion. Everybody have their own.
The prompt. Answer the prompt. We don't need no long speech, man. We got others to talk to. Answer the prompt.
If you don't want me up here, I can easily drop. That's fine. If
You're
you
not
feel
gonna give
like,
me an
Okay,
essay
hold
on
on.
something
All
about
right,
my
everybody, hold
culture.
on.
Your eyes is open to we don't see
We don't.
you as you could relate to us, man. We know Africans can't
Okay.
relate to us. I don't care who you dating.
All
Period.
right. Ma'am, You're in a good relationship with your man, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
We love that for you, all right? But there's a cultural difference here that because you are not from American culture, you're not from our culture, and you're from a different culture, you're not going to be able to really grasp, okay? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And the
Just
culture
like
difference.
we wouldn't be able to speak on, where'd you say you were from?
South
So,
Sudan.
so Afro. Okay. Let's be realistic. I've
Hold
seen
on,
how you guys
where'd you say you were from though?
South Sudan.
Sudan. I wouldn't be able to speak on Sudanese relationships or their dating dynamic.
Myron Gaines.
I wouldn't be
So
able to do that,
right. So let's
you
be
know?
realistic. The only reason I came up here, I was gonna say the same thing you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that there's cultural difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now in general, the generation, even the dating is changing because people nowadays have like multiple relationships, right? And that's what causing the
Okay.
drama. So I was gonna be here more focusing on the prompt and what I think in my head. So it doesn't go by who I am or where I'm from. And I lived here for 21 years.
Well, and nobody's saying that. Okay, nobody's trying to offend anybody, but we are trying to we are trying to establish something because you're giving your stance, you're giving your stance, but the thing is that your stance is coming from an outsider point of view. Even if you were here for 21 years, all right, your culture is not, your parents were not here for 21 years. Okay. Your grandparents, your cousins, your uncles, your aunties, your environment is not America. Okay.
But
So,
I dated a Black American. I've seen the culture.
okay,
So
a white woman can date a Black American. That don't make her Black. All right. So that's what we're trying to say here.
okay, and
All
I'm
right.
not Black American, by the way.
We know that.
I,
All right.
I,
We
so
all
let's,
will.
we're going to move
Yeah,
on. We're going to
talking to
move
some
on
white
to,
teen, because white teen women used to do that to us too. Just because
okay.
you date a Black American don't mean anything to me, right? So yeah, I've seen the culture. You've seen it, but are you of it? No. And you think that gives you an authority to speak on us?
Okay.
Ma'am, you have a good, I'm glad that you have a good relationship with him. Okay. I hope he treats you well. All right. We're going to move on. Okay.
Can I ask one question, brother
All right.
Afro? Sister, you said that you've been up here for 20 years and you've been dating a Black American for 9 months. Who did you date before that? How many men did you date before that? What kind of men?
Crazy enough, I have not dated that many men. So it was only one relationship for the longest time, and then this relationship happened. So
The relationship for the longest time. What was that?
like one person. That's what I meant. So I didn't date a lot of men.
Where was he from?
Oh, Africa.
Oh, okay. So this is your first Black American.
Uh-huh.
No problem.
All right.
So
man.
I am gonna go ahead. You guys can pull someone else, and I'll just excuse myself.
All right. You have a good one. Let's get to Human Maximus.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Where you from? Where you from?
Memphis, Tennessee.
All right. Where's your lineage from? Where's your family lineage from?
Mississippi.
Okay. Are your parents descendant of American chattel slavery?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What's on your mind?
When it comes to Black relationship drama, I feel like the blame is it's internal. I don't think it's so much as external. I think it's internalized by media, manipulation through media, like with the color purple things of that nature. I don't know if people recognize or they knew, but a lot of Black Americans tried to boycott the Color Purple movie because they knew how detrimental it'll be to the male image in the Black community. But it's a long stem of media manipulation that puts the Black man and the Black woman against each other. And then when you have that combined with the nature of being so inviting, as you say, or as we say, inviting everybody to the cookout, we real open with our spaces. So we allow other people to get in and manipulate our spaces. Just like that African lady came up here knowing she wasn't Black American, knowing this is a Black space. It's people that's always in Black spaces that are not Black people. And they don't always have our best interests at heart. like a Cardi B can slide into the rap game and portray all the stereotypical imagery of a black woman in the ghetto and get praised for it. So I think when it comes to who's to blame, I say it's an internal thing. I say you had to put the blame on self and see how we've allowed different aspects of society to point the man against the woman and deteriorate the family from the inside. It's a grand structure. It's a grand scheme. But once you recognize the scheme, you can begin to deconstruct it. You see what I'm saying? Almost like a puzzle. When you put them pieces together, you can see that, it was people that was born before us that didn't even want the Color Purple movie to come out because they knew the power of media. You see what I'm saying?
That's real talk. That's for real. And
That's
you
all
know
I
what?
got.
I'm glad that you brought that up because that's going to allow me to open up the question that I was waiting to ask, right? Or I was waiting to say. I want for the remainder of however long we're going to be live, I want us to have a conversation a little bit less centered on interracial relationships. I feel like that is a factor in the big pot. It's all a factor in the big pot. However, when we talk about black relationship or the black relationship drama, it's not interracial relationships and then that's it. We got a lot of other stuff. We got a lot of black on black relationships that are very toxic, that are very unhealthy. Most black people are not even in interracial relationships. Okay. Now I'm not going to say it doesn't play a factor because as the woman was coming up and she's saying that she don't feel like black men were attracted to her or whatever the case is. So it does play a factor. However, we're focusing on the minors and not the major when we're having a conversation about black relationships, and then we center interracial relationships, even though that makes a very small percentage of the overall picture. You know what I'm saying? So I would want us to focus more on, or less on that and more on other things that play a bigger role into the drama.
Definitely.
All right. So thank you. Human, were you done or no?
Oh yeah. And I just want to touch on what somebody said in the comment section, like when Elon Musk brought on the location system on Twitter, and it exposed all those different detrimental sites that were armed at targeting Black American relationships. Those people weren't even from America; they were from Nigeria and India and places like that. It's millions of dollars being put into bot farms to engage with the media that we use right now to put us against each other. And these people are not Black Americans, but they put money into dividing us because they know how strong we are together.
True. That's real talk. Real talk. That's true. That's very true. Thank you for that. Let's get to Blue Love.
Afro,
Huh?
can I ask the people in the comments, since I need to know what black men they're talking about when they say black men this and black men that. Can y'all please put if you're talking about Black Americans or Afro-descendant immigrants, please, because there's a difference. And the conversation is primarily about Black American men. And I just really want to make sure that we hone in on what type of person you're talking about. Thank you. What
Yes.
ethnic group?
Be specific. All right. Blue Love, you got it.
Oh, my mic got turned off. Okay, so originally I came up because I heard the comment about Tupac, and so that kind of made me think. I don't know how you guys I don't know if you guys believe that, but they've been putting out new information about Black people that we look up to that was back then, and they keep coming out with all this new information about them, which I don't know why it wasn't mentioned back then, but they're waiting till today. So I don't understand why so many Black people are believing any new information that these people are coming out with. I don't believe any of it. It's just a way for them to try and control Black people. So that's how I feel about it. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but also Black relationship drama. I think both are to blame. I don't think there's a finger being pointed either way. Black people need to fix the problem together and stop blaming each other. That's not getting us anywhere, but who going back and forth. So, yeah.
Let me ask you. I'm glad you brought that point. Now there's an echo. That's why your mic was muted. I don't know if you're on speaker or something like that, but let me ask you this, and then you can unmute, answer the question, and then we'll move on. As far as fixing the problem together, what in your opinion does that look like? How do we do that?
It's gonna be really, really hard for this generation. Our best bet is to try and fix the next generation coming up. Because they're already, even though the young ones who are 20, they've even like their minds are already corrupted also. If you even just talk to them, like they're lost. I get on some lives with these young girls, these young black girls, and they just are so stupid. I'm just like, are you really believing the stuff you're saying? And then they praise YT men. It's sick. It's like those mofos be around here doing the most heinous crimes against humanity. But you think that that's the best option for you? Like you want to sleep next to a demon? I feel like focusing on the youth would be the best option, and we can figure it out as we go to try and help the ones who are already mentally gone, I guess. But a lot of people are suffering from mental health, so it's gonna be really hard to fix this generation. Yeah, the TV it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I mean, everywhere you look, it's interracial. You can't see any. It's so hard to find stuff that's just about black people. You know, even like when it comes to like, I don't know if you guys watch adult films, you know, but even when you look at that stuff, like it's all just either white people or white people with black people. It is so hard. Like I'd be like searching, I'm trying to find, like it'd be taking me forever. I'm like, God damn, like I gotta get scroll. But if you look on their site, when it first pops up, it's full of just white skin. Just white skin. Y'all notice that? If y'all watch,
I'm gonna take your word for it. That's the most I can say. I'll take your word for it.
It's all, I'm just like it's only white people on their page, but then you go to black people and it's black people mixed in with them. It's not just like, even if you look up Ebony, like why is I gotta see Ebony? That's supposed to be black women and black men, but it's black women with a bunch of different white people. Like what the fuck is it?
Yeah. That might need to be a different conversation, though. I think.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, though. Let's get to Portiz.
What's up, family?
How you doing?
I'm gonna go on and follow you. We gonna talk on the back end. But you know, when I think about black relationship drama, I don't really think there's no one to blame. You know, they say when you point the finger, it's three of them pointing back at you type shit. There we go. I think it's historical roots attached to, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to the government, those policies have helped play a role in black relationships, the welfare systems, you know what I'm saying? The removal of black men, the incarceration, you know, all of that affects black relationships. Even black feminism, like it's a lot of aspects that come with, you know, the destruction of the black relationship, the G side of our community, pretty much is what I'm getting to. I think we need to have a lot more discussions about how everybody is coming at our community, like my brother said before me. I believe it was Human. You know, when it just comes to us, everyone trying to have us, that is FBA men and women, at each other's necks, man. You know, it is way deeper than what a lot of people have been saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's deep and it's rooted within this society itself. Like they do not want to see us coming together, especially the black man and woman. For sure. It's too magical. And I'm gonna mute out on that.
Let me ask you this question, and I'm gonna start asking everybody. Right?
hmm
Let me ask y'all. What do we do to fix that? What do we do to solve that?
You know, we can start by, I believe we can start by at least educating ourselves on some of the causes and attack them there. As far as the removal of the father from the household. Let's try to get our households back together. Let's start to build these black marriages back up. We know what society looks at. So I'm not saying let's conform, you know what I'm saying? But let's just show them, you know what I'm saying? We are what y'all say we're not. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Because we are couples out here. We are families, but they don't recognize it because some of us are in 20-year common law marriages without going to get, you know what I'm saying? Or people saying they don't need the title, but that shit matters when it comes to benefits and passing down legacies, and you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. All right.
I believe we could start there, at least building up these black couples and praising them more. You see these, like homegirl said, you see these interracial couples being lifted up and propagandized all on the internet. You know what I'm saying? You be on YouTube, man. You be seeing them relationship channels and shit. It's never black and black. It's always, yeah, but I'm gonna mute out.
All right. All right. I appreciate that. Let's get to my brother delineationist.
Man, I'm on the job, so if it's the wind, my bad. I'm out in the field.
You want me
So
to? You want to come back, or you got it now?
no, I could talk. No, I'm just getting to out of a windy location, just for y'all guys, because I want to talk about awareness. I don't think as a community we're aware of other groups who try to cosplay us, and this is even from my personal example. Like living on the East Coast, we come in contact with a lot of Caribbeans, Africans, and etc. Some of these women or men try to cosplay Black American people. So we're thinking that we're interacting with these type of people from our community, and they're not from our community. They have biases to our community. So we're talking about Black power, Black pride, whatever. They're looking at you sideways, and they will sabotage you. They will harm you. And you can sometimes even have a negative experience, right? And that gets transmitted where that person have a strong distrust for other people that even look like them or even from their lineage. And I don't think we actually study that. And that's why I said self-awareness is key. We got to understand, what do the colors that some of these immigrant groups may wear? What type of jewelry that they wear that indicated who they are? I started to have to really look and really analyze these women to make sure that I'm getting a woman from my community, not a tether woman that's not from my community. And under having that self-awareness is something that we're going to have to teach our young brothers and our sisters so they do know the difference. So self-awareness, I think, is a major key, and that is the reason why there is some Black relationship drama, because people carry that hurt. People carry that distrust to the next relationship and then the next one. And that causes a way to destabilize the community from the inside without even firing one BB gun, if you get what I mean. So, metaphorically speaking. So, that's why I wanted to talk about the self-awareness aspect that I think that was a little lost from the discussion. And just some of my experiences when I interacted with other groups, I found out later down the road, they're not even from my community. Of course they have hostility. Of course they have bias. Like, it is what it is. I'm in America. So that's the reason why I wanted to share that with you guys. Make sure that we educate our people, who's who and who's what, so that we won't be put in a predicament with a group of people who we don't know.
Okay. There's a couple of comments that I don't know if you want to respond to. I'm gonna let you respond if you choose to. That are saying that I don't know if you were in another live or in another space or something like that. That's essentially accusing you of engaging in gender war content or saying that you don't like Black women or something like that. So I don't know if you want to address that. I don't know what that.
Yeah, I could press all that. That's in my
Okay.
volume. So the content I talk about is awareness, right? We have to be aware about the males and the females that we're interacting with, especially during this day and age. There's over 300,000 men, women, and children that have been abducted. So we out here interacting, sleeping with any type of women or any type of man or etc., depending if you're male or female, heterosexual. And we might end up being abducted. We could end up being harmed because we don't understand the signs of the people that we're interacting with. We need to have those type of really detailed conversations, because the cops and authorities and the power to be are not going to be looking for our people.
Okay.
It's us to look for our people and figure out ways to protect us. So you have people that get caught up into things, don't even go visit my lives or anything, but they already have an opinion. And I do have some clips from the live where I strictly was talking about all demographics of women. It was the people on the panel that kept bringing up black women. I had to check them. That's the saddest thing about it. Is some people do have hidden things in their heart, and when it comes out, it is what it is. It's social media. But I do want so you could check the clips. It's on my page.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen
You can
any
click
of the
it out.
clips. I'm just seeing the comments and people addressing it. So they've either
Can
seen
I
your
say
live or
this?
seen your
But they
clips. I
never
don't know
come
what they're referring
but
to.
the thing is, Afro, they never come to my lives. They never really support, but they all got opinions.
Okay.
Just like an a-hole. Everybody got an opinion.
He had some red pillish beliefs that seem to be carried over from Twitter to here. Me personally, I try to stay out of it, but sometimes I can't, right? And so delineation is a little bit chauvinistic, and he knows that, right? So, because he even said the other time that, see, I'm not so bad, BX. She thinks I'm bad. You know what I'm saying? So he does have some things that strike some of us the wrong way, and I think it came to a head the other night. Now, the specifics of it I can't get into, but he has some red pill talking points, and that's why people are saying
No, it's not red pill.
black
Red
women.
pill ain't talking about the things I'm talking about. I'm actually talking about
Well, you got a
criminality.
mixture of things. You got a mixed
No,
bag
wait.
there,
I don't like people miscategorizing what I do on my channel, right? I talk about criminality. I have a background and a master's in criminality study and behavior. So I'm talking about the criminal behavior of certain types of women that prey upon black men. You have white T women that prey upon black athletes all day long, right? Ripping them off. You have incidents like the Diddy case where women think that black men are an easy target in society, especially in the system that we live in. So those conversations should technically be reserved for us, but it doesn't happen that
Well,
way. You got people
because
that want to sign
because
up.
of the fact that I don't know what this is about, because of that, BX, you clearly know about that. Clearly, I'm gonna have to have a conversation about this afterwards and to figure out exactly what's going on. So we're just gonna move on. We're gonna get to the next speaker so they can address the prompt, because now you all are speaking to something that if I don't know, I'm sure a lot of people in the room doesn't know about. So now we're having like a undercover conversation about something that happened on another live. So we're gonna move on.
Sorry about that, bro. Yeah, man.
I asked and you addressed it. That's what he said. I don't know if I don't know about that. So that's what he said.
But no, it was just some red pill talking points that people were calling him out on, and they had the discussion.
I don't like when
I
people
wasn't in
mislabel
that.
my platform. I don't mislabel yours. So please don't do that.
Okay,
No,
I
no,
don't think
no.
she was.
He
Hold on. I
was
don't. Hold
deflecting.
on, everybody. She
He
wasn't
was deflecting.
mislabeling
I
your
said some
platform.
people
She was saying
exactly.
that the talking points are, which I guess that's what the audience is picking up on. The talking points are, I guess that it parries what the red pill content people make. So that's what she was saying, which is what the audience feels like too. So maybe there's some miscommunication there, but we'll talk about that later. So we're gonna get to Brother Jeff.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to take myself off mute. I want to first and foremost, I want to congratulate you for your age, for a young brother. I don't know your age specifically, but for a young brother, you really you got a lot of discipline to go along with the knowledge, the path of knowledge that you're going down.
Thank you.
Not knowledge the path, but your discipline. Because I've been listening to you for a minute, and I'm really impressed by your discipline. I mean, everybody's human, so everybody gonna jump off track here and there. But for the most part, you well disciplined, and I really congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
learning
you.
something myself on it because I got a little discipline, but sometimes I kind of fly off the track. Sometimes I know I shouldn't, but sometimes I have a tendency to do so. So for the thing you have posted, Black relationship drama. I think we as a Foundation Black Americans or true Black Americans, whichever you choose to use, I think we kind of was reared in a relationship drama and drama coming up because even through kindergarten, grade school, all that, we wasn't necessarily at each other's throat, but that's been our kind of that's has been kind of like how we kind of figure out who we gonna be with and who we not gonna be with, who's gonna tolerate our mess and who's not. And so, and I think in any relationship, no matter what race, I think you gonna always have an alpha and one that's not so alpha. Or you're gonna always have one that's dominant and one that's not so dominant. It all depends on who's willing to uh, get the other one to pass for the most part. I mean, through their behavior, what it may be, if they want to stay with them, because if you go stay in a relationship, truth is you're gonna have to swallow your pride a lot of times if you want the relationship to work. What's the payoff in it? I really can't say. I mean, because I believe happiness is momentarily, but who's gonna ever grant you peace? That's the main thing. You can have continual peace. Happiness, like when you giggling and laughing all the time. I don't know about. I only experienced that in bits and pieces, but peace. That's something I try to maintain on a regular, constant level, whatever. So it all depends on what a person. Because also, one person's paradise is not the other person's paradise. Or one person's utopia is not the other person's utopia. So they could be in a relationship together, but their idea, even though they may share peaceful moments, one person's idea of paradise may not be the other person's idea. Yet they may nod and share it with them, but their mind and their heart could be somewhere else altogether for the most part. So it's more of a thing with what you willing to tolerate. I guess it boils down to toleration, what you willing to tolerate, and from who you willing to tolerate that from. So that's my little 2 cents. I land.
All right. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
You
you.
know what?
Yes.
I gotta say this, Afro, right? So there was an instance, right, where I found out that delineationists had a problem with the freedman. He was speaking on reparations. They told me it was New York, so I asked them. It came out that delineationists is sort of have red pill ideologies, but I can tell you that he does, for the simple fact that he sends me videos, right? One was of a black woman, melanated. We don't know if she was Black American. She was upset because her son, gift exchange person, did not send the gift. So and the mother was very rude to her when she asked where was her son's gift. Now the whole video is, good job, Black queens, the way you're raising your girls. And that's why I won't let my son date Black women. And he's like, yeah, we got to protect Black boys. They're not protected. I said, you know what? You don't know if that lady is Black American. Now he want to talk about awareness on this panel. I said, not only that, I can admit that we have a small sector who are allowing their young children to watch baddies. But when I was growing up, there was a balance. I had a different world. We had different strokes. Like we had positive television experiences after school specials. So now I need to know solutions. Don't send me a video about a woman we don't even know who's Black American talking about Black women raising their daughters wrong when that's a small sector. Tell me how we're going to combat the baddies who is made by somebody who's not even foundational Black American. So delineationist does have a problem with red pill talking points. And I don't know if he's looking for Black women to take up his cause, but I ain't that Black woman. I want solutions. If you tell me Black children shouldn't be watching baddies, tell me what show is rivaling it or how you're bringing a Black show to rival it. Because in the meantime, she doesn't get to subjugate or pass disparities on all Black mothers because of one.
Okay.
That's disappointing to hear.
Told to him.
Well, I'm gonna say, well, I have seen that. I have seen a video like that where the daughter didn't want to exchange the son's gift or whatever the case is. I've seen that. I haven't seen anybody. I haven't seen the, I guess, second part to it. I guess that's what you're talking about. I haven't seen
The
that.
mother was in the car and she was saying, good job, Black queens, the way you're raising these Black girls. I would not allow my son to date a Black I don't want my son dating black girls because of one bad experience. Now he's saying black boys are not protected, and he may have a case if they ain't throwing the other side under the bus, or if he ain't got no solutions for me. Because I want solutions for a lot of these problems that we're talking about. And if you notice, I even asked the tethers, are you willing to vote your people out? If they're in a serious conversation with me, come to me with how we're going to get the shows to rival baddies, how we're going to get for the 11-year-old whose mom let her watch that. I'm not saying we're not without flaw, but you don't throw the whole lineage under the bus for a small sector. Come to me with solutions. I did not try to change what your platform is about. I know what it's about, but there was an issue with you having red pill talking points, and you've had them since Twitter. Because Twitter's over here telling you when you get on our panels, don't bring that shit over here.
Okay. I'm fine. I didn't know about that. Like that red pill stuff. I didn't know about that. That's interesting. I will say this as far as and this is what we're having a conversation, because we are trying to bring forth solutions. We are trying to, there's over 100 people on here. We're trying to bring people solutions. We're trying to bring forth something that in 2026, we can see more positive, healthy, keyword healthy, black relationships, than in 2025. So that's why we're here. This isn't no beat down on black men room or beat down on black women room. This isn't that. Nor is this blame everybody else for our problems room. This isn't that either. So this is about solutions. And as you are right, I mean, if you're going to bring up a video, and awareness is a part of getting to the solution, but there needs to be a solution at the end of the road. So, yeah. Now, let's get to Samantha. You got it.
Hey Afro. Hey everybody on the prompt. On the panel, I'm sorry. I like to, get back to the prompt. First of all, I don't it's black relationships drama, who's to blame? I don't like when it veers to, people come up talking about interracial, this is about us. As black Americans, what we have to understand is these people have done a number on us as a people. Right? They really, really have. And as far as relationships concerned, as far as who to blame, it can come from either side. For me, on my side, I was brought up in a family. My grandparents married 57 and a half years before they died 4 months apart. My parents were married. My father passed away 2 years ago. As far as my dating experience, with a partner I was with for a long time, he came from a different background as far as, how he was reared, his upbringing and stuff. So when we came together, the reason why we bumped head is because I was more of a traditional type of person and he was more of, another type of person. And I think that's, and we kind of bump heads because, instead of, I felt like, we should talk about, we should sit down and talk about things. And he was like, well, no, this is how things are going to be, but it was untraditional, so, and that's okay because it's 2025, but I'm more of a traditional person and he wasn't. And in the end, we just could not come together, and that's okay. There's no beef, there's no hate. But what we have to understand is the black community actually, we're born into trauma, whether we want to admit it or not. And I'm one of those black people. I believe in therapy. I believe in sitting down, talking to somebody, trying to get to the root of the problem as us as a people. And if we go back to, dating outside of our race or whatever, when we go to try to date outside of our races, these other people cannot relate to us, who we are as a people. You understand what I'm saying? They're walking into something that they know absolutely nothing about, that we're actually born into. We don't like to admit it, but it is what it is, So I believe in seeking outside help, where it be perfect. We work, we're grown, we have insurance, we have things like that. Sit down and talk to somebody. Go back to the church, talk to the pastor, let's try to figure this out. But what I'm seeing online is all of these different spaces where these men against women and women against men. I always go in and say, let me tell y'all something. Don't listen to all of these BS panels and stuff. Black women need men, and black women need men. Am I saying it right? Black women need men, and black men need black women. We need each other. Without us, we're gonna blemish off. We're gonna die. So again, like I said, for me personally, one of my solutions, I'll try to go to therapy or try to talk through, the problems in the relationship and go from there. But, the outside distractions, they're going to always be there because there's always been propaganda. But we need to lean on each other and stop bringing all of these other people into our community. But that's just my stance. And I'll just land right there, Afro.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you. Y'all think about that. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section, in the chat room. All right. Hey, and I'm glad that we're bringing solutions, because this is what we're trying to do, solve a problem. We're not trying to fight and argue indefinitely and all of that. We're trying to solve an issue. All right. I have some solutions. I'm willing to hear everybody else's solution. I will give you my thing, though. I'm gonna give you my thing towards the end, after I hear everybody else's thing. What other people think would solve the problem. After that, then I'll give you what I think, or some of the things I think would solve the issue. Let's get to foundational.
Peace, family. Thank you so much for having me on the platform. As always, great topic. Brother Afro Lee, ZZ, what's up? BX, love that you calling things out. Love the passion. We calling out the gender wars of 2025 into 2026. We're not playing with it at all. I'm calling out on my side. Glad you calling out your side. Go ahead. What you said?
I said I was giving pushback to this topic. I usually don't join these topics. You know that.
Yeah. Nah, me neither. Me neither. But we gotta sometimes come up and kind of add that balance and everything. So I'm with you on that one. I'm glad you called that out. And first thing I want to say, start off is we're not born into trauma. I'm definitely not born in no damn trauma. We good. I think what happens is that's taught through the media, right? The YT media that shows 3% of our community that do 95% of the crime, but it's promoted 95% of the time. But they don't show the 97% that's doing good. The loving family come together, the mom and dad, the middle to upper class doing what they need to do. They don't show that. So we see these Shahs, the Power, the loving hip hops, the Baddies East, all these things. And we think, well, that's how we are. We got trauma. We got this, we got that. And we perpetuate this rhetoric online and think that that's how we really are. And that's not the case at all. Actually, we actually are loving people. We are actually the most loving people in the world. When you look at Love in the Dictionary, you'll see our picture, right? So I think that's what it is, and we keep echoing that, right? That we're trauma, we got slave syndrome trauma and all this, and we like amplifying that, right? And words are power, right? What you say, you believe, right? What you speak out your mouth, the power of the tongue, that's going to be your reality. So I speak life. I don't have trauma. I don't have any of that. There's nothing that can stop me. No one that can stop me, right? I speak positivity within my life and people. And that's why I see positive on a day-to-day. I see great things on a day-to-day. I just think, honestly, what we're seeing, honestly, and I wish FBA Wolfie was here. She'll tell you my experience. What we see now, because we've been on cold. We've always been on cold when it comes down to it, right? We realized, especially when we delineated, that a lot of this so-called gender wars, and it's not coming together, have been of the immigrant class. And they've been using the black, right, as a black man, as a black woman going through this, and they're actually speaking towards what they're going through there with their specific ethnic group. So like, what they cutting off their private parts and things like that. And instead of saying as an insert country American or as an insert tribal person, this is wrong. What they'll say is as a black woman or as a black man. And they put their trauma onto our people. We go up thinking that, okay, this is an all black thing. And now we're fighting, scratching, hooting, and hollering based off of other people's trauma. That happened to me when I went to, I had this woman, I think her name is Intellectual something intellectual. This is some Jamaican woman, and she has some pain. This during the time where 300 black women lost their jobs. And I guess some quote unquote black man was laughing. Definitely wasn't our people. We don't laugh at things like that. That's nothing to laugh about. But she had a panel based off that. And I went up there and I'm like, that's a shame that they lost their job. And any man that's laughing at that, that's not a good thing. And I also said, but when it comes to us as black Americans, we've been on cold. We don't do the gender wars back and forth. That CIA and COINTELPRO. We on cold. I got muted. I got told I was pandering. And then I got pretty much she was like, well, I'm a tether. And I'm like, I didn't say you was a tether. Do you know what a tether is? And then she explained it to her. And then she said, well, I'm not black American. I said, yeah, I could tell from your phenotype. And she dropped me. Right. And then she came to my live because I made a live about that the immigrant class are utilizing the black umbrella term to kind of use that as a way to talk and galvanize women. Right, because they understand woman going to hang with woman. The as a woman thing, that's going to be a thing. So they use the black woman thing to make it seem like it's an all black collective flat blackness, right? And then we taking on other people's trauma. Now, I'm not saying there aren't 1% of the black men that's passport bros that I'm constantly calling out, and they run away from me. I'm not gonna lie, they run. They don't play with me, these passport bros. So they run away from me. They say the most degenerate, vile, nasty, demonic things. And they get checked 100%.
Afro, do you mind if I respond to that if you don't
Excuse me,
mind?
my bad. I
Oh,
got a phone call.
I'm sorry.
And then a little small percentage of
Wow, I thought
the
it was
woman. Hold on, gentlemen. I don't know what sword coming off his mic. Hold on. And then the small percentage of on the woman's side, on the black American woman, are checking them when they start that gender war stuff. So as long as we continue to do that and check the people and to stop the gender war or COINTEL gender war, we good. I think we'll be okay. When it come down to it, also we gotta also make sure when we see these videos and these lives that's doing these gender wars and doing these things online, ask them their background. Ask them what their background is. And 9 out of 10, they gonna say, well, I'm a black. No. You Jamaican, Haitian, African, what are you? And then they're gonna let you know. Make sure you let them know. Say insert country men is doing this, right? Say insert country woman is doing this. Don't say black men and black woman. Make sure you say your ethnicity man is doing this. See, they won't do that because they want to try to umbrella it, so now they're not throwing out their dirty laundries. So that's what I did. I told them to say your countrymen are doing is your country woman, because we working on being on cold. And that's all I'm gonna ask y'all to do. I appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna land on that.
All right. Samantha, I'm gonna let you go ahead and respond to him.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Afro. Okay, foundational, here's the thing. As far as the tethers and the YTP, none of that, all of that is irrelevant to me. Now, okay, so if we were not born into trauma, then why are we asking for reparations, right? You have to remember our ancestors. Our ancestors were never made whole. So, I mean, in your opinion, we're not born into a clean slate, right? We were born into a system, a race system, a white supremacist system. So yes, that's trauma. Right? As a young girl, I'm from Louisiana, but I live in Texas. As a young girl, I didn't walk into school all happy, go lucky. And again, I don't like to go off the subject on these panels, but I only came back on here because you said we wasn't born into trauma. Yeah, we absolutely were. If we were not, we would not be fighting tooth and nail in this country, fighting to get this buffer class out, fighting to, for reparation, for repairs, tangibles for our people. We wouldn't be doing all that if we were not born into trauma. We absolutely were. But to the point of, the prompt, that's something that us as Black Americans, we can't continue to go outside of our race as far as dating, but that's just me. A lot of people, you don't mind, dating outside of their race, but I don't have anything in common with those people. But again, I came back up, to address the part of we wasn't born into trauma. That's just absolutely incorrect, because if we wasn't, we wouldn't be fighting as hard as we were. You understand what I'm saying? That I just came back to kind of clear that up, on my end, and Afro, I'll end right there.
Okay.
So you believe you was born into trauma?
I believe Absolutely. I mean, so let's elaborate on that. So
Okay,
when you
hold on,
said
but
that
let's
we
because we got people who haven't
Okay,
spoken
yeah.
yet.
So but
All right,
that
we
was
could
that
talk
was my
about it later.
response. So yeah, I do believe, to answer your question, yes, I do.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that. We'll put a pin in that. Um,
Afrobeat, there's some conversations that's going on that's going to have to like wait for another time.
mhm.
After, I want to remind you that I do have a 9 prayer call, end of the year call. I hope y'all are
Yeah,
getting ready to
we're
be
not gonna be
grounded.
here to that point
Okay,
to
thank
that
you.
time. I will say our demand for reparations is a demand based off of debt. You know, I get where you were coming from with that because you're talking about the system, but I don't want to get confused.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The demand is based off of a debt. You know.
That's kind of what's going with it. And like, and I get some people, this is traumatic for them, right? Some people have a tolerance, different tolerance level, or some people, right? I get it, and some people may need therapy because they have to, like, because mentally the way people take things is different. But to say we, right, and I speak 3 languages, but French is not one of them. So I don't know what the we is, right? I feel it's better to say I was born into trauma and I had a traumatic, upbringing and this, that, and I agree. And, I can agree to that. But to say we all, was born into trauma, that's not my life. That's not my experience, not my life. Reparations, if you're talking about reparations, like the brother said, that's a debt that's old. That's something we're fighting for. But that's not like, so I think we getting that misconstrued is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
Yes,
fair
there are.
enough.
Okay,
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
I
enough. I
think there's
got you.
room for both of y'all points. I think there's room for both of that.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
get
all I wanted to add. Real quick, that's all I wanted to add and say was really both of them are valid in their points. We can have space for both. Like you said, it is a hyper focus on our trauma, but also there is trauma, so the trauma not only from the system that she was talking about, but also just from our parents as well. The experiences from our ancestors, those traumas being passed down. So we're still living through that and passing that on to our next generation as well. So I mean, both of y'all are really correct. I mean, I didn't want to really get too caught up in that, but yeah.
all right. Let's get to Saw.
Thank you. I like to get back to the prompt. I don't know why went down that rabbit hole, but relationship drama. Who's to blame? Let's get back to that. Um, I believe the true blame is the loss of value of black children. When the black children were the most valuable thing to the black community, that's what kept relationships going instead of focusing on self. Black men and black women are focused on their own independent successes, wants, and needs. When we were sacrificing for the children, the next generation, that's when we went from 1865 to 1965 and we put everybody in fear. We created bank systems, we created infrastructure, we created towns, we created everything necessary to make sure that the sons and daughters were going to have a platform to be even better. We have failed at that for the last 50 years. The black child today costs a man nothing. It doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter what your income is. It doesn't matter what your education level is. Anybody can produce a black child today for nothing. The majority of black children are made out of wedlock, 70%. And they're accidents. Nobody's having intentions. How can we expect black relationships and people to grow up with purpose when we're having them on accident? So until we remove the pushing of women and men to excel, and we both come together and focus on the next generation and try to work together to create something better for our sons and daughters, and they don't have to start at zero and get receipts and bad stories, that's when relationships with adults will be able to be focused and have work ethic and a purpose together other than individual happiness and goals and merchandise. I land. Very quick, very simple.
Okay. Now I want to ask you though. Now, first off, you said we went down a rabbit hole, we briefly touched on reparations, but trauma is a part of this. We didn't veer completely off subject like you implied. All right, so everybody was on subject. That we might not have addressed what you wanted to, but everybody was on subject. But to answer to get to that question, first off, you said anybody can have a black child for nothing. What does that mean?
Okay, I will answer that question with a question if you don't mind.
Okay.
What do you believe that the majority of black women require from black men to get them pregnant?
So repeat that.
What do you believe that the majority of black women in America require from a man to get her pregnant?
I don't know. I'm not sure. What is it?
It's your opinion.
My
Whatever
opinion?
your opinion says. Yeah, your opinion.
What if I said marriage? What would you say to that?
I would say statistically, we both know that's not true.
Okay, so it's not an opinion then. So what is it?
No, it could be your opinion. I would just
Well,
tell you that your opinion
if
has
you're
no
correcting
information.
my opinion, then your thing is not based off of an opinion. So what is it? What is the reality?
Oh, if you're gonna ask me, I would use facts, statistics, and data. I wouldn't use an opinion. You said you don't know, so that's why I told you just use your opinion.
What are the facts, statistics, and data?
Nothing. There is no requirement. You don't have to be married. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to own a home. You don't have to have a trust. You don't have to have insurance. You don't have to be educated. You don't even have to be a free man.
What does that mean? You don't have to be a free man.
You can be incarcerated. 92% of incarcerated men are fathers.
So they're getting women pregnant while they're incarcerated?
Multiple incarcerations. Back and forth.
Okay. How are people getting people pregnant when they're incarcerated?
So you get out of prison, you get pregnant, somebody pregnant, you go back, you come out, get another baby, go back. It's like that.
Okay, so
Happens
they
all the
were
time.
free at a certain point in time, though.
Of course.
But you said
That's
that
common
men
sense.
don't even have to be free, implying that men
like
are
your
in
woman
prison
can
getting
have a
women pregnant.
baby, like a woman can have your baby while you're incarcerated.
Okay,
That
so
it works
if
like it takes
I
9
mean that
months.
well, to be totally honest with you, that can happen to anybody. Okay,
Of course.
I can get somebody pregnant. You can have a long, healthy marriage to get somebody pregnant and then go to prison. So
Sure. But why would you have a baby with somebody who has a history of going to prison? Like prison talk. You can go over there right now, 3,000 women in there gifting prisoners and asking them when they're getting out.
prison talk.
Yes.
I'm gonna look into that.
Yes, sir. It's available right now.
Okay, and your solution, if you're saying that there's no price when black women just willy-nilly having babies and black people need to prioritize the children, what do you think we should do?
Like I said, we need to raise the value of black children. We need to come together and make them the priority, not women, not men, but children. We unalive 1,000 a day if you include filicide and AB rates. 1,000 a day.
Well, hold on. And then let me ask you this also.
Dude, can you ask him for the stats of the actual stats of this brother? Because he just saying of throwing out percentages.
Yeah,
to make it
he is.
sound
But I
good.
want to make a point because
Yeah, I was thinking that. He ain't saying nothing.
hold on.
92%. Okay.
I'm gonna make a point. Hold on. I know what I got it. So you're saying that now?
Wait a minute. I got a question. Why are you questioning me? You didn't question the man that was speaking before me when he was saying a whole bunch of fallacies, talking about we're all married and we're all together and we're nice and
He
we're
didn't
good
say
in the
we're
black
all
community.
married and we're all together.
He said
And
he said
hold on, sir.
97%.
Hold on. Why don't? There's no need to be defensive. We're having a respectful
Of
dialogue.
course I'm going to be defensive because you're coming at me.
We're
You're coming
having.
at nobody
I'm
else.
not insulting you. We're not coming at you. I'm asking a question for clarification because you were in the chat room telling everybody to land their plane because you wanted to speak. Now it's your time to speak. So now I'm asking you, and we're having a back and forth. You were the one rushing and telling everybody that they needed to close their line and stop so you can speak. So now you're speaking. So now I'm asking you questions, and now you don't want to speak. So come on,
Let's
that's
not
not
act
legal.
obtuse. Let's not act obtuse.
No,
I see.
sir.
I see what's
You
going
were
on.
in the chat room begging to speak.
No, I was begging people to stop repeating what they're
hold
saying.
on, dude. Hey, you're not gonna cut me off. Every time somebody was speaking, you were putting the plane emoji, telling people to land their plane, raise your hand. You really actually cut too much because you were like, hey, I want to speak. So I'm letting you speak. Then you said you had solutions. So now we're having a back and forth. And now that I'm, questioning your stances on certain things, now you're saying, "Oh, why are you questioning me?" Well, you said you had solutions. So now we're
I
getting to
gave
the
the
bottom of that.
solution.
Okay, now we're getting to the bottom of it. All
Why does
right.
there need to be a bottom of it? You understood I use
No,
English.
there does need to be a bottom of it because
You just don't like it. You don't like the
no, it's
solution.
not about
It's
me not.
bothering you.
First off, you're going to calm down. You are going to calm down. I'm not
And
I ain't
asking
gonna
you
do
you.
doing too
shit,
much, man.
bitch.
Look,
Oh
now,
wow.
hold on, hold on. Do you see that? Do you see that? Why are you getting so upset, brother?
Because you're not talking to me like I'm your child.
Well,
He's
you're
I
in
not
ain't
my
your
talking
room.
about
child.
Hold
you.
on,
I'm
hold
a
on.
grown
Everybody
man
stop.
just like you.
Everybody stop. It's just me and him. Everybody stop.
I disrespect you, don't disrespect
I
me.
didn't disrespect you, but you
No,
are
you
in
gonna
my
tell me
room.
what I'm gonna do. Fuck
You
you,
are
bitch.
going to
You don't
listen. You
tell me
are
what the
going to
fuck
Hell
to do.
listen.
no.
You
You
ain't gonna
look,
tell me
do y'all
shit.
hold
That's a
on? Do you see
tether.
this?
That's a
I'm
You
not
shut
tether.
the
no.
That's a
fuck up.
Everybody
tether.
stop.
That's a
Everybody stop.
tether.
Look at him.
Okay.
Look at him. Do you see this? Now you're talking about prioritizing the children, brother. Where's the leadership? Have you been incarcerated before?
Absolutely not. United States Marine,
I don't know.
22 years.
You sound like somebody who's been incarcerated, brother.
Unfortunately, you are wrong.
It's not unfortunate. I don't want you to be
Retired
incarcerated,
Marine.
but
And I slapped the piss out of a little punk ass like you if you talk to me crazy like that in my face.
This
oh,
nigga
really?
PTSD.
This is the
Get out of
decorum of
here.
the.
Slap the
This is hold
sleep
on.
off your ass.
This is the decorum of the
Trauma
Marines,
Yeah,
alert.
your
brother.
ass
Hold on.
a pin
Don't
cookie.
mute him. Don't mute.
I didn't mute her.
Why did y'all do that? Where is
I
he
Nobody,
didn't
at?
mute
nobody. No,
her.
he dropped.
I ain't
He
do
dropped,
nothing.
Oh
brother.
my
So I
God.
He
was
Y'all
dropped.
see that now?
arguing.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
I want y'all to understand. It don't take that much. It doesn't take that much at all. See how triggered he got? Nobody really came at him.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really said anything to him. I knew because when it comes to the red pill, and I get those red pill vibes from him, when it comes to the red pill, they have such short fuses that
Yeah.
get triggered so easily. The second you start slightly questioning them, they blow up. He's the one who said, I got all these solutions. I got all this stuff. I got all this stuff.
There
And
he
he
is,
blew up.
Afro.
As a Marine, he blew up off of me just questioning, even though he's the one who said he got the facts. He's saying he knows better than everybody. And then he's coming up here, and the second he gets questioned, he gets in this temper tantrum. Are these the type of men that should be leading the community? With men who have such short fuses, such anger issues, such lack of decorum and civility? Are these the type of brothers who need to be leading anything? How are we going to get any solutions from somebody who has such a short fuse? How are we going to get any solutions? Why should we take anything out of the childish, immature, unmasculine display of emotion that you just showed everybody in this room? Why should we now take anything you say serious?
You can gaslight somebody else, little boy. We talking
You the
about
one, you the one calling people out their name. I didn't curse at you or insult you
no,
at all.
you kept
And so
telling you kept trying to act like you gonna punk me on this raggedy ass motherfucking little laugh. You're not
that
gonna
you've been
punk
begging
me.
to
You
talk
didn't
on.
say
That you've been
shit.
begging to talk
You didn't
on.
say
This
shit to
raggedy
nobody
ass
else.
laugh
You
that
let
you've
them
been begging to
you
talk
let
on.
them say all this democratic bullshit and these
This
lies.
democratic bullshit.
He, if you're talking about
Oh,
foundational, he's a mod. Like, shut up, sir.
You shut up, bitch.
oh
Your
hell
mammy,
nah. You
your
don't do that.
granny, your great grandma, and
We
all
not
Sir,
doing that. You gonna go in the
sir,
came
comments. I'm
You
sir.
sorry,
got
We
to
Afro.
and
You
not
had to
go.
whoever
doing
go,
came
that.
brother.
before you.
We
Come
not
on
doing that.
now.
You're
We
not gonna
not
call
doing
BX none of
that.
that. You're not gonna call BX none of that. Like I said, we check toxic people like that. Let me say something real quick.
Yeah, he
If he's
wild.
in the Marines, like he say he is,
I
with
don't
that kind
believe
of
it.
temper, he sounds like the person that's gonna go in the middle of the battlefield and beat his chest and be the first one unalive. He have no emotional intelligence. He don't have no patience, and he's over here giving these flawed statistics, talking about the flaws and the woes of the black community, and he's everything that he's talking about. He is he projected literally everything that he spoke about. He is literally the epitome of what's wrong within the community. So how dare him even come up here and bring up all these flawed statistics and talk about the woes and the ills of our community when he's exactly that. He have some nerve to come up here and act like he's high and mighty. And if he is in the Marine, he probably was a cook. He probably was somebody that swept the floors, because I know he wasn't on a battlefield with that lack of emotional intelligence. It takes a smart individual, somebody with a keen mind that know how to have a basic conversation in the military to be able to be in that battlefield. Somebody like that get unalived immediately, get popped immediately in the Marines. I know, because I know a few veterans. I got veteran family, and they don't operate in that manner. They don't operate that low vibrational demonic energy that he come up with. Now, me and the sister Samantha, we disagree, but it's all love. We can see that's the kind of conversation you have.
Exactly.
You can agree and
Foundation, that's
disagree
exactly what I
and
was going
still
to
have a
say.
baseline of love, grace, right? And we might not agree, but I still love the sister Samantha with every cell of my body, because again, it's not that serious for me to be calling her out of her name and none of this stuff, because that's not a real man right there. That's a little boy that didn't grow up yet. That just grew up. He just age just changed. That's it. My bad,
Foundational, I was
my bad, Afro, for going off. But you're not gonna call no matriarch on this panel, no BICTH,
Yeah,
not in
that's
front of me,
crazy.
right. And
not in front of
foundational, that's
me.
exactly what I was about to say. I was like, even though me and foundational disagreed on that small minor thing, no, we talked through it, and it took just a second. Afro, we talked right through it. He came on here and just completely crashed out. I don't like that. Very disrespectful. And to be honest with you, I do not believe that he's a foundational Black American. I believe that he's some sort of tether. Yeah, that's just what I believe, because there's no way we don't do that. We just
I
don't
could
do
tell.
that.
I knew he was gonna crash out by how much he was asking. I saw him in the request every time somebody would speak. He's like, "Can I speak? Can I speak?"
Yeah.
First off, he technically wasn't next. I let him skip because he wanted to. I knew he was gonna crash out, and with all of these red pill dudes who are all like, "What we need to do is this. What we need to do is this. What we need to do is this." This is why I said, and that he got triggered by it. Why should we, if you are a man on here, knowing you're live in front of almost 200 people here, if you know you're in front of all of these men and women trying to give solutions and you're crashing out, why should we take anything you say serious? Why should we take your critique of Black women and their fragility, and their them having why should we take that critique serious if it comes from you? Why should we take any critique of Black men serious if it comes from you? If you can't internalize your own emotions, if you can't have emotional intelligence, then therefore nothing you say should be taken serious. And these are the powerless, insecure, really incel, red pill, anger management, short fuse, short tempered dude who sounds like he's been incarcerated. If he knows about some jail talk, it sounds like he's been incarcerated, not no military. But these are the people who will go on to panels and they will talk to Tommy Sotomayor and Fresh and Fit and all of that stuff. And they will highlight negative aspects and kind of embellish on quote unquote negative aspects in the community that will not lead to solutions and will only worsen the problem. So men like him are part of the reason why we have this situation and why we need to have these conversations. Because
I want to
people
apologize.
like him needs to be expelled from all types of a civilized communication when it comes to a dialect or a decorum as far as bringing forth any type of solution.
And I want to apologize, Afro. You know I don't never get like that on your panel, but I don't play about that calling a matriarch out of their name on the panel, not in front of me. I refuse. So that I apologize for getting a little hype right there, but yeah, we calling them out. And like I said earlier, that's what we need to do as men. Call those type of folks out, and then the woman called the other woman out. That's how we work together. That's how we do it. But I apologize, Afro, for going in like that.
No, don't apologize. Don't apologize. Absolutely. Mind you, BX didn't say anything.
No.
She literally she didn't even say, it's just not like she came at dude or said anything slick to him. She didn't say anything. Okay. First off, there's nothing she could have said that would have prompted that response, but his anger towards her came completely unwarranted.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna let you know where it
Yeah.
comes from. To be honest. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Z. Go ahead, Z.
I was just going to say he was clearly triggered very early on in the conversation, so him flipping, like you said, it was not no surprise. And even with him throwing that whole Democratic thing in there, I'm like, so he's this far right, red pill, possible tether, passport bro, whatever the hell. Like, it's like he was very disrespectful. We clearly had some anti-Black sentiments. I don't know if that's internalized, because he fucking around be a whole, non-black man for all we know, one of these Myron Gaines or something. But definitely some anti-black sentiments for sure, or vitriol towards foundational Black American and foundational Black American women. Moreover, because he's talking about facts, data, and statistics, and he just gets up there and just says his opinion. We don't have any standards. Well, we require a bed. We're required some way to get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So what are we talking about? Like, that's just ridiculous to act like there's no standard. Of course, there are definitely problems with it. That's what this whole conversation has been about, the problems and the aspects of those different problems within Black relationships. So of course there's issues in that area for standards with Black women, but to put that blanket on all us, like, yeah, we just out here get knocked up for no damn reason, with no standard, is that's a reach. You're exaggerating. That shows like you're in that that red pill space or sphere where the Myron Gaines and the anti-Black rhetoric goes down. So yeah, unsurprising but egregious.
Now,
Nonetheless.
when he said that, I knew first off, because I know about statistics and stuff like that, right? But when he said, "What do you think the standard is or the price is?" I said, "I don't know." So I'm letting him give it. I like, okay, why don't you tell me? There is none. There is no price. Okay, well, for you to make that argument that there's no price, there's no standard or anything like that, and then he says, well, Black women, you don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have a trust fund or anything like that. Well, is that the standard for all of these other women? All right. What is the standard for all of these other women? Because white women don't require you to have a degree to get them pregnant. Okay. Or require you to have a trust fund or some Fortune 500 company or anything like that. These are not the requirements for other women. The bottom of the barrel, standard for other women. So therefore, why are you trying to highlight and make that a statement when it comes to Black women by saying Black women don't have any standards whatsoever? And then he messed up when he talked about you don't even have to be free. You can be incarcerated, and women are getting impregnated by incarcerated men. Which the second you start to scrutinize any of the points he makes, he blows up. Because what they're used to is they're used to being in rooms full of people like Myron Gaines, Fresh and Fit, whatever their name is, Tommy Sotomayor, all of them. They're used to being in these echo chambers where if you say something in particular about Black women, everybody's just going to agree. And you're not going to get any pushback. Okay. Nobody's going to say anything about it. Nobody's going to question a statistic. Okay. So if you say statistically, it just justifies everything you say, even if statistically what you said is incorrect. You know what I'm saying? So now when you come into a room and you say statistically, we're going to say, well, where did you get that data from? How does that make sense? Then you're going to blow up because they're not used to being questioned. He's used to this kind of low key homoerotic echo chamber because a lot of that stuff be like,
Yeah.
Can
we all
can you
know
say
about
something?
Myron. We know how Myron get down.
Yeah, he's got some questionable
Right.
pictures.
And can I say something about the you don't even have to be free? Let's think about it. And that's the thing. They don't expect us to ask logical questions. As far as you don't even have to be free. You can't just walk into a prison and just have conjugal visits with somebody and get impregnated. I mean, is he talking about, so if we break it down, is he talking about something that happened before they went to jail? And because if you're not married, or at least legally, you can't go in and have conjugal because you have, and my point is, you have to break all that stuff down, with common sense and legal sense. That's something that's not even rationally possible. So right there, that debunks, that particular part of the argument, right there. So when he said that, he completely lost me in the argument. So,
Can I add this?
Yeah, my bad. Sage, actually, go ahead because you were with
No,
it.
go ahead. You good. You good. Sis, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, even with him trying to move the goalposts and try to bring it up, ABs as well. I'm like, how are you even making a transition from that? But yeah, he was really reaching for anything because that whole instance with like women are not out here seeking. There are some degenerate women out here actively searching for men in prison or in jail. Okay, but they definitely don't represent the majority of black women. The majority of us are not out here actively searching for a baby father that's going to jail, that has plans on, like, what are we talking about? So it's ridiculous. You know, it's ridiculous.
It's silly. Hold on, he in jail? Yeah, that's the man I want.
Hey, come on.
Come on.
Like, what are we talking about? You going to Rikers? Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about?
Y'all be on that group chat, be all like, girl, he lied. He only got a misdemeanor.
What the hell are we talking about? Thank you. Like, what the fuck is he
No,
talking
I need a felony or better. Oh God.
That was a great, I don't want to say call, but I think that was a great person to chime in because it stems right back to black relationships and their drama. And I'm going to specifically focus on the men for right now. A lot of men, because we saw that just now, that was a great example. A lot of men, when they're not successful at life, they project a lot of that pain outward. So you come across someone like Afro who you don't know and you say, you know, I'll smack you, I'll do this. That's pain that brother's feeling that he doesn't even know Afro. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure you've never seen him in person. For you to say that you want to physically harm someone or something, that's projection. And when men feel that they're not successful at life, they project that outward. That's why men beat on, you know, some men beat on women and they do certain things like that. I don't know what that brother's life is like, but like my brother Foundational said, if you were in the Army, Marines, as you said, you're very undisciplined to be a Marine. For you to throw threats out on a social media, that's not very Marine-like. You know, so I don't know what, like my brother said, I don't know what you did on that battlefield, brother, but God bless you that you're still alive because people like that don't usually make it.
Nope.
And then you make fun, like I said, you're making fun of people in jail, brother. But again, you're threatening someone through TikTok. How successful are you in life that you have to throw threats on a social media because a person disagrees with you? And this is what I get, you know, when it comes to us black men in our relationships. You need to lead. You're making fun of people in jail. Well, a lot of our Black Panthers went to jail. Are you making fun of them as well? A lot of their women were like Fred Hampton, shout out to Chicago. When he was incarcerated, Fred Hampton Jr. was in the oven, if you know what I'm saying. So is that a slight towards him? No, it isn't. But at the same time, you're making fun of people that have been incarcerated. So again, brother, I don't know what your life is like, but again, for you to make fun of like people, like my sister just said, no one is seeking out the people that are going to jail. That's like a high school, junior high thing. When you want to be with the bad boy, with the boy that you know it gets in trouble in class. You know, you want to be with the class clown. That doesn't really work after you leave school. And again, I'm not a female. I can't speak for any females that are in here. But I don't think that they search out the class clown. And with that, I'm going to land until you waiting for the solutions. I'll give you mine in a sec.
Yeah. I want to get to, somebody says, is this an echo chamber? You can come up. You can come up and request to speak. But no, this isn't.
It's not
Now,
an echo
I'm
chamber.
going
I
to
just
get
don't think
to
you should threaten
Omega
someone
because Omega
that
hasn't
disagrees with
spoken
you.
yet. And then I want to start getting to solutions.
Now, I will concede and say that is trauma right there. That brother do need therapy.
That's definitely
right there. So
trauma.
shout out to
That's
Sister
definitely
Samantha on
trauma.
that one.
Yeah.
That is
Definitely
definitely trauma right there.
I'm
If
trying
we
to
can't have
tell
a
you, it'll save their
conversation,
lives if they ever look into it. You know, and with them, it'll save, if they ever just really look into it, it actually will save their lives, you know, and maybe they'll leave us alone.
yeah.
Afro's 847.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Omega, go ahead because we got to wrap things up.
All right, peace to the panel, man.
How you doing?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, you got to stop throwing shots at the at the formerly incarcerated, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't be doing this like that. I feel attacked.
I only brought it up because he brought it up. He's the one who brought up people being incarcerated and all that. He's the one who brought it up.
Yeah.
So I was just saying that to him. I'm like, dude, you act like you just got out.
Oh, I dig it, man. I'm just joking.
No.
Yeah, shout
But
outs to the brothers that came out doing their thing, man. That they made it and they changed their mindset and changed their life around. Shout out to y'all for real. I commend y'all because I know the things that y'all go through on a day to day basis over there, the things that's being done behind the scenes that nobody know about. So shout outs to y'all, fam.
Not for nothing, but I'm one of them brothers. You know what I'm saying? And life ain't easy, but you make it. However you set yourself up, you know what I'm saying? I'm still the first black man in my family to graduate Wayne State
But yes,
University.
let's let
You
Omega go
know,
ahead because we got
we
to wrap
just
it
do
up.
our thing, man.
yeah, man, I appreciate your foundation and 40s. I'm not sure how to say your name, dog. I'm sorry. But in terms of the
You good,
prompt,
brother.
relationship drama, who's to blame? I'm gonna have to defer to what the brother Sage said in the opening. Like, I'm not the peen police or nothing like that, so I'm not gonna lay down with you. You know what I'm saying? You do your thing, however you do it. I just don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, if you are in a interracial relationship, you should not be sitting up here bashing the other gender of our ethnic group. Like, you kind of forfeit your pass to speak on it. You know, that's why I come down on it. As far as a solution to it, man, I think it's more or less like you gotta kind of ignore like these narratives. It's a lot of people that come up saying different things, and you see it on Twitter where people getting exposed for being way across the water. You know what I'm saying? Talking shit about black women and black men. That kind of thing, we got to kind of be above that. And for the most part, I think we have been. You know, we tend to marry each other. I don't really have anything to say about a man that's dating outside his race because 9 times out of 10, he's not really a dude or a woman that most of us even vibe with. It might be attractive or whatever physically, but aesthetics only go so far. You feel me? Other than that, like, just continue to build yourself. Be the person that you are looking for. You know what I'm saying? And I'll land my plane there.
All right. All right, then. Well, to wrap things up, Sage, you said you had a solution. Okay. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yes, yes. So basically, my solution would be listen to each other, be patient with each other, be realistic with each other, and continue to build. Everything can. What I pride myself on is everything that I've told myself I was going to do within a 5-year period. I've been able to do, and there's some things that I always set another goal for myself that I want to accomplish, and I will continue to accomplish that as well. One thing I would say to the ladies, every guy ain't out here trying to lie to you or sell you a dream. Be patient. And I'm saying specifically because of me in my last situation. Sometimes patience is a virtue. Every guy is not trying to lie to you or sell you a dream. If a guy tells you he gonna do something and he's showing you A, B, C, you can't skip to Z. You have to go through these other letters in the alphabet. So give him time to get there. Unfortunately, in my situation, I wasn't given time, but I still got there, unfortunately, without her. But what I would say to the ladies, if your guy is trying to build, help him, build with him. You don't want to get left behind. And with that, I'm gonna land.
All right. All right. Let me add this. And this might be a little harsh, but y'all know I'm not no red pill dude, nor am I a simp or anything like that. I think I'm fair, but listen, I'm gonna say this. As far as people blame other people for problems that internally they need to fix. All right. They need to fix these problems. I'm gonna make a couple points. Point number one. The problem is that water reaches its own level. And everybody, I don't care what you say, everybody wants a certain thing. When you're in the dating field or whatever, you want a certain caliber of person. Okay, whether that's finances, status, looks, whatever. Men want it, women want it. Okay. The whole I don't care, I just want a good person. No, I've never believed that since I was a child. People want a specific thing. All right. And that's okay. And that's a good thing. You should. However, the thing is that you are not attracting that thing. And because people are not attracting the caliber of people that they want to attract, they blame the other gender. They say there's no good people on that side of the field. No, it's just that the people you want to from that side of the field isn't coming to you, isn't checking for you, okay, or is not taking you serious. So there's a lot of self-work that needs to be done. All right. And a lot of people like to cope by saying that they're not the problem, when a lot of people need to face themselves in the mirror and realize you are, or at least there's things you need to fix. Okay. Whether that's financially, whether that's physically, whether that's intellectually, whether that's emotionally or spiritually, all of these things are a total package. And whatever reason, your total package is not attractive enough to reach the caliber of person that you desire. Okay. If it's bad habits, if it's a bad attitude, if it's bad hygiene, hell, if it's bad spending habits, whatever the case is, it's making your package, who you are, less attractive to who you want to be, who you want attracted to you. All right. So it's a lot of self-work that needs to be done. And I see a lot of finger pointing instead of looking in the mirror and realizing that you need to work on your problems. Maybe therapy, like Samantha said, might need to be the solution or something of the sort. Maybe you might need to talk to somebody and get an honest assessment of who you are and your relationships and what you've done and what you can do. All right. So I feel like a lot of people need to learn accountability and then self-improvement. All right. Now, I also will say, and I know we're going to be closing up because BX has to go, but I also will say this. A lot of people, we like to avoid these conversations, but I don't think we should avoid it all the time. Because if I know a lot of us, we like to stay focused on conversations about like economics, reparations, our culture, all of that stuff. That's good. We do need that. However, we do need to also provide a counterbalance to the toxicity in the dating conversation, because you'll have people like him. He'll go on panels night and day and they'll have toxic dating conversations. And we'll say, well, that's not our thing, so we avoid it. And we don't provide the healthy counterbalance that's needed. And what happens is his voice will be the only voice that's heard. It won't be mine, BXZZ, Foundational, Samantha, Sage. It won't be our voices that are heard. Okay? You'll hear his voice, not Omega's voice, his voice, not Portiz. You'll hear his voice, Myron Gaines, Tommy Sotomayor, all of them, Andrew Tate, all of them. So I think, like Foundation, you were saying, we do need to highlight positive and healthy Black relationships. Okay. Those relationships, I know they kind of want to mind their own business. I get it. But those relationships do need to be showcased more and highlighted more in the community, and made to be the representative that they should be, that they really are, that they should be, instead of having false negative representatives be the face of Black relationships.
Right. If you don't mind, I'm gonna end. If I can end it on this one last thing, brother.
Yeah. Just we gotta be quick.
I'll be quick. So, and that's the thing. We gotta understand that the YT media is always going to push the negative aspects of our community, right? They're going to push the baddies east, the love of hip hops, the power, the Shahs, right? They're never going to show the positive aspect of our community. So it's up to us to promote, because now the playing field is even now. We have the new media, right? They have the old media. We have the new media. So it's up to us to push the positive propaganda, because it's propaganda. We got to push the positive propaganda, push the positive love, push the positive come together, push the positive conversations like this that we have. Even though we was in disagreement, there still was a base level of love in the conversation, where it's no disrespect, no malice, no vile demonic energy like that dude came up with, right? So this is what, even in disagreement, we should be able to have these kind of conversations and pushing that positive propaganda. Because the other media is what we see on a day-to-day basis, and this is why people walking around thinking that is the reality of all 97% of people that's doing good, middle to upper class, and coming with love. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna land on that.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
said he's gonna be quick and then proceeds to give a long wind, and I'm joking. So I'm gonna just say this, Afro, and then y'all can continue. I'm gonna just drop. So when are you coming live on
Yeah,
TikTok again? Will we see you tomorrow before the new year ushers in, or after the new year?
If it's gonna be tomorrow, it's gonna be early because I gotta go live on YouTube early tomorrow. So it would have to be like 12 o'clock.
Well,
If we do.
I'll be up.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. Well, make sure y'all listen to the
Wait,
playback
Zizi
on
can give
For
her
the Culture.
feedback. I'ma drop, and she could give her closing submissions. I just gotta go, but I'm gonna wish everybody love, peace, life, and reparations. And Zizi, I'm gonna catch your submission on the playback on For the Culture. Love you all, my foundational Black
BX, I
Americans and
love
those of the
you.
All
lineage
right.
who could identify as such.
Much love to you, BX. We all love
Love
you.
you,
Have a good night.
BX.
Love y'all too.
All
Love
right.
y'all. Y'all be safe.
All right. Closing statements. All right. Yeah, this was a nice little ride, good little conversation for sure. Who's to blame? It's a multi-layered conversation, multi-layered blame, accountability, amongst the tethers, amongst these YT supremacists and their propaganda amongst us. We each Black men and Black women have our shared issues and individual issues as in different genders. So there's a lot of things to work out. Solutions. Definitely love what everybody had to say as far as connecting with each other, talking to each other. The patience, the grace that we need to have with one another is absolutely necessary. Also, having these conversations out loud and refuting these narratives that are untrue. Black men being loud about loving Black women and vice versa. Us not upholding these double standards where you see Black women praising other Black women for dating out and then, talking down on Black men for doing the same thing. We have to correct these behaviors. We have to be honest with each other. And we have to fight back against, of course, this propaganda that's being pushed on us every single day. Through media, through news, through social media, just scroll up and down your timeline. So you have to do a cleanse. You have to be have a filter for these things, and just be aware. So it's a lot of work that needs to be done, but for sure, definitely problems, and there's a lot of people to blame.
Yep, that's true. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people we need in 2026 healthy relationships, which starts with you. That means you need to be healthy. Okay, from top to bottom, physical, spiritual, mental, financial. That's a big one. And it's a hard one. All of these things are hard. But if you want a healthy relationship, you need to enter in the game healthy. All right. Don't enter in damaged thinking that somebody else is responsible for fixing you or tolerating you. Okay. So you need to do the self work. You need whatever it is, whether you need to get your health together, your finances, your mental state, whatever it is, you need to do a honest assessment. Most of us think we're better than we really are. Let's be real. Let's do an honest assessment and then do the work.
You're
And
right,
then
brother.
after that, everything else will start to fall in line, because after that, you will start naturally attracting what your type or what your caliber is. Okay. It won't be this uphill battle. Now, of course, there's going to be some issues. That's just dating, but you will naturally, your type or a higher caliber, higher frequency of people will naturally start to become more attracted to you, and you will have an easier time in that. Okay. You're trying to enter a race running on foot when people have vehicles. Okay. Don't enter the race yet. Get a car. It's that simple. All right. And if you guys want to listen to the playback of this, go to For the Culture on YouTube. Go to For the Culture on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. It's a lot of good stuff on that. That's where the playback's going to be. Y'all follow for more content. If y'all want to engage in the prompt and the conversations that we have, y'all want to hit that follow button. All right. And ZZ, you also did a good interview with Dave Anderson. So y'all want to go check that out on her page.
Yep.
All right.
Please, that's a blessing.
With
Yeah,
that
that
being
was
said, you all have a good night.
Peace, be one.